It's a game that's over a century old and has seen a remarkable 2-year run of drafted players. 108 have heard their name called. We see the future of the NFL audition for Sunday football. It's the East.
Here. I said, these guys are not better than me. I can play with anybody here.
The best players in the nation, 1 week, one chance to compete against the best and prove they belong.
This is a huge opportunity for the players to really put on.
Some of the biggest stars in the game stood on the same field, chasing their dream and seizing their opportunity.
Make every moment count. It could be your last time playing football. Keep going, keep pushing.
There's players that were making plays in that game, making plays on Sundays right now.
Across the board, I feel like it just helped me elevate my game and understand what my mindset needed to be going into the NFL.
The road to the NFL runs through here, the 2026 East-West Shrine Bowl, where tomorrow's stars make themselves known. What a few days in Frisco, Texas, a winter wonderland as the backdrop for some spirited practices here at the Ford Center. Just another opportunity for some of the country's best to make their case to be Sunday players. And with that, we welcome you inside the broadcast booth for the 101st edition of the East-West Shrine Bowl. Thrilled to be joined by my friends Bucky Brooks, Isaiah Stanback, Mike Yam with you. And look, it is prime time. You have to play well today. This is a great opportunity, Isaiah, for these guys to ball out.
Absolutely. This is exactly what you play for, right? You have a heck of a collegiate career, and then you have opportunity to come play in an all-star game where you get to showcase your talents in front of not only the coaches that are on the staff, but in front of the entire league, all 32 teams against competition that you may not have ever seen before.
But it's not only the competition, it's the preparation and the performance in NFL conditions. All week you've been learning the NFL playbook, getting coached by NFL coaches. Can you take that information and play it out on the field? That's what all these evaluators want to see.
And look, we have seen some stars in recent years. The number of drafted players certainly impressive, but the guys that are making an impact right away, you can see 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks here. Brock Purdy, a familiar name, but don't look now, a dude who was kind of hanging out with us a year ago. Shedeur Sanders is now a Pro Bowler. Buck, do we have another guy that could make an impact playing today?
Maybe so. Let's go to Iowa. Mark Gronowski will have an opportunity, and very similar to Brock Purdy, he is going to enter the National Football League with a lot of starts. 68 career starts, 58-10 as a winner, and 2-time national champion at South Dakota State before taking his talents to Iowa. He is really impressed throughout the week. The coaches talk about his command, his control, the way he impacted the huddle. He is going to get the start today. Should be fun to watch him.
Well, I can tell you who's going to get the start on the other side, but that's going to be my boy Jalen Daniels. This dude is an absolute beast at the Kansas quarterback. Everybody wants a quarterback that's dual threat, that's smart, that makes great decisions. Well, don't just take my word for it. Let's look at his resume. His resume states that he was second in Kansas history in rushing yards as a quarterback, second in passing, second in all-time yards, 10,000-plus yards as a quarterback position. This dude has a 3-to-1 quarterback ratio in terms of touchdowns and interceptions. He makes great decisions. He can do it all. Looking forward to seeing what he can do tonight.
And Isaiah, something that we haven't seen for a Kansas player, and that is be a 4-year captain. By the way, I just want to let everyone know Bucky was giving you the Shedeur Sanders name when I named that symbol when I had dropped it a little bit earlier. Kickoff just minutes away. We hear from Jane Slater coming up next on NFL Network. Back here at the Ford Center, minutes from kickoff of the East-West Shrine Bowl. The players, they're set to go, and so are the coaches. Here's Jane Slater with more.
Yeah, well, this will be the 3rd year for the East head coach Marquise Williams, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know him these 3 years. The one thing that stands out about him is just how intentional he is. Every year he's looking to improve. But while he's looking to improve, he's looking to bring up others with him. This week, he says he opened things up with one simple question, which was simply, what's your why? He says it helps bridge the gap between players from different backgrounds and college systems. And this year, he loves watching this group let their guards down, players and coaches showing their authentic selves. Williams told him, this week, it's a chance to reintroduce themselves. And on the west sideline, Cowboys tight ends coach Lou Dewell's making his Shrine Bowl debut. He told me his approach this week, all about clarity, putting players in positions they're comfortable in, communicating simply, and letting them play fast. Here he is ahead of kickoff.
Elite communication. Now, we're all over, okay? Again, commanding that huddle, okay? Snapping in and out of that huddle, okay? all about the ball, okay? Offense, we're protecting it, right? Defense, we're doing what? We're attacking it. Offense, we're protecting it. Defense, we're doing what? Attacking. Again, when in doubt, be physical. When in doubt, be physical, guys. Again, get on the doggone edge, okay? Make sure you're detailed, okay? Make sure you guys are jumping off the tape and not blending in with the grass. You guys feel me? Yes, all right, let's go get after these guys behind, all right? Here we go.
And both coaches this week spent the way finding ways to challenge players and showcase skills they may not have been asked to show in college, all designed to give them the best possible shot at the next level. Guys, back to the booth.
All right, Jane, let's set up the rules for the game. Only 3 base packages allowed on offense. 21 personnel, which is 2 backs, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers. 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends, and 2 receivers. And 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end, and ready to rock with those 3 wideouts. On defense, only 2 zone packages allowed. Cover 2, you got 2 DBs back at deep coverage, and cover 3 with 3 DBs dropping back. Only players on the defensive line allowed to rush the passer, so whether you're a corner, linebacker, or safety, Bucky, it's another year where I know you're disappointed. No blitzing allowed.
I think somebody will fall into it. I think we'll see a couple blitzes just kind of happen inadvertently.
When it gets competitive.
Yeah, when it changes the game a little bit. We'll see that.
All to the good.
So getting set to kick off right now. An opportunity for some splash plays. Special teams going to be a major factor in this game. And guys, we are about to get underway. Opening kick. It's Michael Wortham, who will collect inside the 5. Pretty decent return here. This is a guy that certainly showed a ton of athleticism.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement about what he was going to do when he had an opportunity to touch the rock, and so we'll see it.
So here comes the East offense, and Isaiah, as you were watching practice with me this week, you were raving about his command in Jalen Daniels.
Absolutely. Jalen Daniels is a quarterback that went, from the time that he stepped foot in the building, he commanded everybody's attention and respect. He's an energy bus. He is a leader. You mentioned it earlier, Cave. First time in Kansas history that they had a 4-time captain. That's exactly what you have stepping on the field today. He's going to be the one leading these guys in the mission.
So Daniels under center here. And he'll roll out, goes to his tight end, and it's McCree reeling it in. So an opportunity to check in on some guys that we do think can make an impact in today's matchup on the east side. Offensively, Bucky Heidenreich is certainly one of those players that you were paying attention to this week.
Yeah, really like his versatility, having watched him in Navy. This is a guy to play slot receiver, can play inside, but also can run it. He's going to have a chance to run it downhill. And then Jagger Burton being able to come and be the center, the pivot, controlling everything in the line of scrimmage. Let's see how he handles the point of attack.
James Thompson Jr., the big fella on the inside, as well as Damani Jackson on the back end. 10.25 speed. Hope to see that on display today.
Daniels out of the gun. Oh, immediate pressure here. James Thompson Jr. coming in for the sack, boys.
Yeah, James Thompson Jr., we just talked about. Look at him on the left side of your screen coming through. It simply might have been a mental error there at the offensive line position. Very difficult in these type of situations. You see him there, just comes unblocked. When you have these guys, all these offensive linemen coming from different teams, different schemes, and all of a sudden they're trying to take on 75, 80, 100 plays, depending on the team that they're on, all in 1 week, there's going to be a couple mental errors happen to be on that first play for a sack.
And not surprised that it's Thompson coming up with that first sack. Loss at 9 here, setting up a 3rd and 16 for the East. Daniels again feeling some pressure, dumps it off. Sierra Wright in on the tackle. Heidenreich coming out of that backfield. And we've seen him used as a receiver this week during practice.
Yeah, you're going to see some pressure again coming off the edge here. This is a screen play, so they're trying to wash him by. But quarterback didn't see him at the corner of his eye. Is able to get it out just in time to his running back. Another close play. That's 2 plays in a row. He's feeling some pressure.
So Jack Stonehouse into punt. A remarkable kicker coming out of Syracuse. First team All-ACC. He's had some booming kicks so far this year.
Nice.
Not a surprise, Caden Weegan showing some speed, turning the corner, and is getting pushed out of bounds near the 50.
Yeah, Weejan is someone that everyone was talking about. They were raving about him in practice, and we wanted to see what he would look like with the ball in his hands. As you'll see, as a returner, you see him make the first guy's miss, turns the corner. Not only does he have dynamic ability as a returner, we should see him go to work when he has his opportunity as a receiver.
Guys, when we talked to the staff during the week, Weejan's name continued to pop up. And talk about his opportunity in terms of special teams, led the country in terms of return yards, over 1,000 of them. No other player in the country had more than 750. So they're going to use him as a weapon today. Mark Gronowski getting the start now for this West squad. Little handoff here. It's Dean Connors, not much doing.
Yeah, Mark Gronowski, we talked about him leading up to this game. 68 starts, a guy that's been a winner. Started his career at South Dakota State, two-time national champion. Goes to Iowa, leads him to a 9-4 record. Did a lot of impressive things throughout his team.
So Connors a pickup of 1 here. Coaching staff told us Gronowski, the command that he had in terms of this offense, could settle down this squad. They figured that these players would have some jitters in this East-West Shrine Bowl. Quick pass here fired off. Fitzbauer Sharp, the tight ends. Some mid-back players, Isaiah, in terms of the West, Weejan, who we just saw on that return, one of your guys.
Absolutely, the Iowa receiver / return man, had 4 returns for touchdowns, 3 as a punt returner, 1 as a kickoff returner. You saw the abilities there. And then the big fella up front is going to be making some holes and protecting the quarterback, Garrett DeGiorgio. My apologies, he does a good job up front. A man who has a lot of flex and ability to play all 5 positions at 6'7", 320 pounds.
So Connors, good penetration right here, Buck.
And I'm glad, there we go. We talked about the impact player, Wesley Williams from Duke. I don't like the logo on the helmet, but I appreciate his game. The length, the motor, you like that. And then also keep an eye on Miles Rouser from Arizona State. He's a big thumper, old school throwback. Guy that loves to mix it up in the box.
Yeah, you got to see him there. He coming through the interior penetration. He can also play at the end position, but you talk about a 3-4 defense. He's a true big fella that has a flex to play the 5, the 3, or even walk out to the 7 or 9.
Yeah, loss of 5 on the play. Buck, just to be clear, you went to a basketball school, didn't you?
I mean, yeah, we can call it that. North Carolina, talking about Duke, not in love with the logo. Look at that pocket. That's a good job.
Connors, we saw him utilized as a receiver coming out of that backfield. Another reception for him. Devonta Smith on for the tackle.
Yeah, but you mentioned it. You talk about the protection that Gronowski had there. He's able to sit back there all day long. Now, understand these guys are not able to blitz. Or they are able to run different stunts. So the communication up front is going to be very important. But you talk about the offensive line and the big fellas up there coming together in a 1-week span to go out there and try to go out there and execute as one unit. It's not as easy as it seems.
So 3rd and 7 here, guys. We'll see if the West is able to convert. Gronowski feeling some pressure, able to get out of it, using his legs, guys. Off to the races, inside the 25. He takes a slide.
Those are one of the things that they liked. Just his ability to stay calm and cool. The poise and composure that he displayed in the pocket. The pocket breaks down. He flees it, understands how much yards he needs for the first down, gets it, takes a slide, doesn't take a big hit. Love that.
And shook off Wesley Williams. The big fella coming off the edge, untouched. He's able to shake him off like he was simply a fly. He's able to get his eyes downfield, see exactly what he needed to pick up, go move the chains.
Interesting, guys, seeing Sean Mannion, the offensive coordinator, mix up a little shotgun, a little under center here for Gronowski, who rolls out. He's got the reception towards that near sideline. It is C.J. Williams, who, by the way, boys, just got here, checking into the hotel on Sunday out of Stanford. So we're seeing some turnover in terms of that roster, and the Stanford wide receiver making his presence felt early.
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming over on a traditional over route off of a bootleg, but a good job by Gronowski, just doing a good job of getting out on the edge. Oftentimes, these quarterbacks, they come out on these bootlegs, they keep their shoulders to the sideline. Gronowski did a good job of getting his shoulders downhill so they can make an accurate pass down the field.
Once again, out of the gun, Gronowski. 1st and goal. Fires to the outside. Good defense there. And it's Cole Wisniewski defending that pass.
And Cole Wisniewski is somebody that they absolutely love. You guys are going to see him right here in the slot. He does a good job just playing sticky. Now, understand, he is not a cornerback. He is not a nickelback. He is a safety. He is somebody that go out there and has that positional flex. He's one of those guys that he looks like he's in a doggone window at a Christmas shopping. Just a physical specimen out there doing a heck of a job at 6'4", 220 pounds with the ability to cover.
Just taking the handoff here. Yeah, C.J. Donaldson out of Ohio State, looking like he's just short of that touchdown. And boys, we know he certainly has a nose for the end zone. 40 career touchdowns at Ohio State. And you can see it's Lander Martin coming in for the tackle, wrapping him up.
CJ's not greedy. All you do is stick the ball out. Get the tub, CJ. Put the ball out so you can get rewarded.
CJ is one of those running backs that these coaches absolutely raved about. They all looked up and raised their eyebrows in the meeting when we talked about his abilities, is the physicality that he has at the backfield.
So the play whistle dead here.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we've seen earlier this week. Again, these offensive linemen are coming in from different programs, different schemes. Their quarterback cadences are completely different. So you're going to see a couple of these mental errors happen from time to time. Now, obviously, old school coaches' mentality is going to say, watch the ball. But in reality, you're going off the indication of your quarterback's voice.
You know, it's something that we had heard from the players and the coaches. Operationally, some issues when they first got here, which makes sense. Gronowski looking to the end zone and gets picked off.
There goes that man.
Oh, just dropping it. Wisniewski had it in his hands.
It's your name. We might have to find him in the DB room for that. That was a layup. I mean, it's right there. Wisniewski was...
So a near interception.
Wisniewski's right there. It's right in his hands. I saw him working after practice. He was doing those man-to-man bump and run drills. Probably should have added some catches to the routine.
You got to find him.
So Trace Mack comes on to get the first points of the game. And he is good. Right through the uprights, an opportunity for the West right now on this opening drive, finding some points, nearly a turnover by the East.
Players coming into this game, enjoy that week, man. It flies by. There's a lot of new experiences, but at the same time, everything you do is being watched. So whether it's talking to somebody, going out, getting a meal, or performing on the field, every little detail that you do is being watched and being talked about by the NFL personnel. So, make it count.
Buck, you scattered for a long period of time. You always got that watchful eye. Big Brother's always paying attention.
Big Brother's always playing. It's funny that Jimmy Garoppolo was there because Jimmy Garoppolo was someone who certainly used this game to elevate his draft stock. Made himself into a second-round pick. He's had a nice career. First with the Patriots, then with the Niners, and now with the Los Angeles Rams.
So it's a 3-0 game for the West. We saw a 10-play, 49-yard drive, capping it off with a field goal from 24 out from Trace Mack. You can see Michael Wortham.
Michael Wortham is another one of those returners that has the ability to take this thing to the absolute house, especially playing with the NFL rules here in a kickoff return. There's going to be plenty of space once he receives the ball to try to find a lane and try to take it up and try to make a play.
So here's a look at Smack. Also back to receive Kentrell Bullock, but it will be Wortham collecting near the 10. Trying to flash some speed and looking for an opportunity to turn upfield, and it is not there. Chet Banks there, pulling him down in for the tackle.
I had to
Jane
walk
Slater,
up.
the fourth member of our broadcast crew on the sidelines. Jane, what are you picking up on?
Well, I went down here and I asked Wisniewski, I was like, man, how bad did you want that one? What did Coach just say to you? And he said, you don't drop money.
Well, you should have seen Bucky's face. I mean, I called it as a pick because it was in his hands.
I thought it had it. It's right there. Money.
So a second series now for Daniels, who comes out on that opening drive. It's two passing. Had 10 yards, but it was the defense once again coming up big for this West squad.
Defensive line definitely has a presence. These guys jumped off the field. Whenever you're going out to practice, have opportunity to see these guys earlier in the week. This defensive line was just physical. They had opportunity to go offensive line versus defensive line, those one-on-one matchups, but they were able to go watch those guys individually, and they continually won their matchups on the defensive line.
Yeah, Thompson is having a great game already. In the backfield a few different times. TFL had a sack. Like what I've seen.
2nd and 7 right now for the East. Under center is Daniels. Hands it off. And it's Kentrell Bullock with the pickup. Jackson Kuach in for the tackle. So we were talking about this practice squad and some of the players that have shined so far this week. Not a huge surprise for this West team. Some real playmakers here, Isaiah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But the one guy that we continue to talk about is that man, James Thompson Jr. You see him in the middle of your field, number 90, is making a big impact. 6'6", 310 pounds. He's an absolute nuisance in the middle.
Daniels buying some time. It's Miles Kitzelman reeling it in. It gets pushed out of bounds. It's Kuach again in pursuit.
That's one of the things that you like about Daniels coming out. His ability to play inside and outside the pocket, the way that he's able to keep himself together, the patience, the poise, but still able to deliver those big plays on improvisational plays.
So it's gain of 12 for Kitzelman. This tight end group, before we even kept down to Frisco, we kept hearing about how strong the unit was across the board.
They have a number of guys that they can use, and they all have different skill sets. Pay attention to number 87, Lake McCree. He's made a lot of plays throughout the week consistently.
Daniels feeling some pressure once again. It is Sterling Webb in pursuit, not able to come up with the Daniels. You know what? Let me live and survive.
Yeah, this is a screenplay, so some of these guys are actually supposed to get blocked temporarily. You guys are going to see it here in the middle of your screen, but these guys are supposed to get blocked temporarily, and then the offensive linemen are going to let them through. And the whole purpose here is for the quarterback to try to draw them to them, dump it over their head, get it in the hands of your receiver, running back, or tight end. In that particular play, they were trying to get the ball to the man we were just talking about in Lake McCree. Unfortunately, the DN noticed it, was able to hold on to him, and didn't allow for him to get out on his route.
2nd and 10 here for Daniels. Woo! Oh, how about some of the athleticism for him? Fires and just off the mark. And that's Chris Hilton, who just can't reel that in out of LSU. That passed a little high.
Coming out of the bootleg, this is one of the more difficult things. Right-hand quarterback bootlegging to your right-hand side. As soon as you get your eyes around, you have their tight end trying to wash the defensive end by. There's pressure in your face. You have to step up in the pocket and to step back out of the pocket. And then, as I mentioned earlier, most quarterbacks struggle with the ability of trying to get their shoulders squared downhill so that you can throw an accurate ball. On that particular play, we saw our man Jalen Daniels keep his shoulders to the sideline, and that's why he flew the ball just a little bit high.
We were told Hilton really impressed during the week of practice here. Fast to pick up the playbook, just not able to reel that thing in from Daniels, who's out of the gun on this 3rd down.
Nice throw. Another nice throw. I mean, you talk about throwing with touch timing and anticipation.
Yeah.
Ball is out well before the receiver comes out of the break, and he nails it right in the strike zone. So as evaluated, when we're grading that, we'll give him high marks on the grade and the placement. Look, the drop is on the wide receiver.
Yeah, look at the footwork in the pocket. Does a really good job keeping his eyes down the field, locking the safeties in so that they don't have any advantage as to where direction he's going. Sets his feet, hops, nice release with the ball. Out on time, good location. Unfortunately, it was a drop, but to your point, Buck, that's not what they're going to grade him on. They're going to say that he did a great job with all other aspects that he can control.
Stonehouse back in to punt. Weegan again was back, and he'll let that thing sail right over his head. So unfortunate from an East perspective. We're seeing some good pressure from the West. Now 0-2 now on third down as the West and Gronkowski takes over.
All right, we are here down on the sidelines with Brad Kane. He is the chairman of the Shriners Children's Board, and 101 years now that you guys have done this game. How important is the mission of Shriners Children outside of a showcase of all these amazing players on the sidelines?
Well, to be a football game for 101 years consecutively, number one, is amazing. And it not only brings branding and awareness to the children, it's much bigger than the game itself. And everybody who comes, from the fans to the players to the refs to the workers, it's all to promote Shriners Children's, and that's taking care of kids.
And for those that aren't familiar with the mission, 2 million patients served, regardless of what their financial situation is. But what sort of kids are you taking care of?
Any child from birth to 18 that has orthopedic issues, burns, cleft lip and palate, and spinal cord or scoliosis. And we've been doing this for 103 years, and it's at no cost to the family. So we're there for any child that needs any help whatsoever in the disciplines that we treat.
Unfortunately, we normally have the ambassadors here on the sidelines, but for the kids that are watching at home, Dallas is one of those ambassadors this year. What would you say to them about their spirit and the way they approach life?
Well, I tell you, Shriners kids can do anything they want to if they put their mind to it. They just may do it a little different than you and I. I've got a very good friend who was a patient. She was born without her left arm. She does a video on how to play the ukulele with her toes.
They are truly inspiring, aren't they? Thank you so much for your time. Such a pleasure doing this.
Thank you.
This is my third year in a row, and every year I get to meet some incredible kids. Guys, back up to the booth.
Penalties decline. Result of play, first down.
All right, Jane, so as the West tries to move the football here, got a holding penalty that was just declined. As Jeff Caldwell reeling in the catch. And just to echo what Jane was talking about, a couple of years ago, I got to work the sidelines as well. I mean, just some of these kids are just so remarkable. Always have a great conversation with them, and a little disappointed that I know a lot of the student ambassadors or the child ambassadors weren't able to make the trip here to Dallas. It's Declan Williams in on the tackle. Donaldson trying to muscle his way for some tough yards.
Yeah, for sure. One of the big fellas that we mentioned earlier, Garrett DiGiorgio, did a heck of a job of getting out on the edge. You talk about somebody at 6'7", 320 pounds. We talk about his positional flex. All the coaches raved about his ability to play all 5 offensive line positions. You don't imagine that somebody that size can get out on the edge and block your DBs, but...
No. We don't want to see those big guys coming out there, but he's done a really good job all week.
Donaldson once again in that backfield. Gronowski, a little play action. To the middle of the field. Yeah, it is nice. Jeff Caldwell with the catch.
Buck mentioned it earlier. To play in this game with guys that you just met a couple days ago and to get the ball on the money like this is absolutely insane. Gronowski does a good job stepping up in the pocket, feels the pressure on his backside, throws the ball ahead of time, and gets the ball on time. Watch the ball location. Boom, right there on the money. That's one heck of a play.
Yeah, really one heck of a play. If you've been watching games on Sunday, that dagger route, that concept, that dig, being able to throw it on time speaks volumes about his anticipation and timing from the pocket.
So Caldwell's catch good for 23. Winding down here in this first quarter. Gronowski again rolling out, and he'll dirt it. Wesley Williams in pursuit. It's going to be a familiar name, guys, as this thing unfolds to hear his name. Gronowski in the West right now on top 3-0. The story, defense in this first quarter. Bay Area, we're coming for you. Super Bowl opening night fueled by Gatorade is Monday, February 2nd at the San Jose Convention Center. You can register through NFL One Pass. Entry first come, first served. And all of us are looking forward to that big game. We're actually going to see some Shrine Bowl alum in the Super Bowl. We'll highlight some of those guys coming up in just a bit, but just to reset for you, West on top 3-0. Mark Gronowski, and you can see his numbers, 5 of 8 passing, 68 yards. This West squad's got 4 quarterbacks. We were told they'd each take a quarter or so, just depending on game script. We do expect to see Miller Moss at some point in this first half.
Yeah, but when you have a drive like Gronowski's having right now, you can't pull him out the game. That's the only thing we talked about with these coaches in the pre-production meeting. 4 quarters sounds good whenever you lay it out on paper, but once the game gets going, you got to go with the hot hand.
And he's rolling. He's been rolling. This offense has been rolling under his direction. Let him finish the drive.
Got to imagine Miller Moss is jumping up in that sideline going, put me in, coach, put me in, coach, I'm ready. Gronowski coming out of the gun. A short little gain here for Donaldson. Talking about these quarterbacks, as we made reference to Miller Moss, but the collection of QBs, very accomplished, Buck.
Yeah, really accomplished. Miller Moss is someone who's played first at USC, then at Louisville, a lot of starts, a lot of success. And then Haynes King, ACC Offensive Player of the Year, puts the ball in the paint, over 100 touchdowns in his career, and you're going to finish with a UConn standout.
Fagnano, who we do expect to see a little bit late. Sean Manning, their offensive coordinator, felt like Moss and Fagnano, both of those guys, great in that 2 minutes. So they felt like end of half, fourth quarter, that would work out. Gronowski showing some athleticism, breaking a few tackles. Declan Williams finally reels him down.
Listen, Gronowski said, I did not intend on utilizing my legs, but since you called on me, I might as well go ahead and show you what I got. You guys are going to see him here again, pocket presence, right? Not necessarily having to look behind you. Got that QB vision, that 270-degree range that I like to refer to. He steps up in the pocket and then realizes the play is dead. I now have to utilize my skill set, which is my legs, and get the first down, at least try to, make it a 4th and manageable.
4th and 3, and they said, you know what, offensively, let's go for it. Gronowski, big moment for him in the second quarter. Out of the gun.
Oh, look at that. I'll keep it up.
A lot of green grass. Gronowski, good enough to pick up the first down.
Like it again. Understanding situational awareness. I don't care what your athletic ability is. You see these quarterbacks be able to drop back, understand my option number 1, you're going to see his eyes. Option 1, no. Option 2, no, my timer is off. I have to go get this first down. Whoops, hit you with the uh-oh, got first down again.
That was the best part. The best part of it is being aware, getting the first down, extending the drive, giving his team an opportunity to score.
Gronowski needed 3, he got 6. Familiar with using his legs. We did see that last season at Iowa. He's got 3 rushes so far for 28 yards. So it's Connors getting stuffed right at that line. Maybe even a loss of 1. Let's see where they spot it. So Dalton Johnson in on the tackle.
Defensive line just does a good job. And coming here in the 4-3 set, you see 4 down linemen. The linebackers fill the gaps, consume absolutely every single offensive lineman. And when that happens, there are no run lanes. Connors does a good job. Press the hole, tries to jump cut around the first man, but then there are just more people. Offensive line was unable to try to get any movement up front.
Yeah, really good job of being able to try and get as much as you can. But I love the gap integrity that we saw from the defense.
Gronowski fires, big hits. And C.J. Williams taking the brunt of it.
C.J. Williams said, I might have just got off the bus, but I could make plays. Go out there and cover 1, goes out there and routes him up. Yep, thank you very much. And takes the big boy hit. What's the most important thing, Buck?
Came over the ball first.
That's right.
Williams, by the way, a Stanford kid, so not surprised to hear that he's fairly bright, getting that bachelor's degree in just 3 years. Buck, you coach in Southern California, modern-day kid.
Yeah, modern-day kid. Modern-day produces a lot of them each and every year.
Gronowski.
Oh, that's nice. Oh!
C.J. Williams getting chased down as Johnson in on the tackle. You kind of felt like Williams just had an opportunity to get into that end zone.
Listen, these offensive play callers are in their absolute bag. Yeah, the ball went to C.J. Williams, but Dean Connors out the backfield ran a nice little wheel route and had his man beat as well. I see these coaches digging in their bag, little Christmas gifts.
Yeah, they talked about concepts and putting so many in to give their guys an opportunity. I love how the Iowa standout is running this offense.
Gronowski gives to Connors, cuts back to the outside, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Okay, H-Town. Love to see it. Look at the quarterback, huh? That's your man.
Yeah, Gronowski doing a great job, not only handing the ball up, but leading Connors around the corner. He usually hand the ball off, takes it off around the corner. He sees this guy coming out there. Let me get a little block.
Look right back.
Black, I get into it. Connors finding his way into the end zone.
12 plays, 80 yards, 6 minutes and 22 seconds. You got to imagine Gronowski's night is done. He's got to be feeling pretty darn good about what he just put on tape. They are going for 2. Remember, the PATs in this one. Gronowski trying to cap this thing off. Working out of the gun. He's got plenty of time here. He'll fire. Bauer Sharp can't reel it in. Gronowski getting it done with his legs in the air and apparently willing to sacrifice his body.
Gotta love it.
Back here at the East-West Shrine Bowl, where the West is on top of the East 9-0. We saw Mark Gronkowski start this game, and yeah, he got it done offensively. 7 of 10 passing, 86 yards, had the 3 runs for 28, but it was the block that set up the touchdown that's got X jumping up and down. Let's take a closer look at it. And Buck, what'd you see here?
I mean, just a great job of just hustling. We talk about guys being football players. Being able to take, look, and he attacked the upfield shoulder to seal the block. He may be a future Isaiah Stanback, may be able to use him on special teams.
Love just the willingness, right, at the quick QB position. Not only did you do your job by handing the ball off, right, but then you went out there to put the extra effort out there to go out there, seal the block to go and spring your running back for a touchdown.
So we'll find out if the East are going to be able to respond here and collect. And once again, we talk about special teams just being so crucial to what this team wants to do, what these players will be making a living. Kentrell Bullock with the return. I know there's one person who was impressed by that Gronowski drop. Oh, yes, the Hall of Famer is going to be joining us in the booth. Gerald Johnson in just minutes. Well, there is one person in our broadcast booth who is officially a Hall of Famer, Daryl Moose Johnson, the 3-time Super Bowl champ. We saw him getting honored before. And by the way, there's so much to unpack here because you're an accomplished broadcaster. Besides the play, you're shaking hands, kissing babies. You know everyone up in this booth. So I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Football is a small community. It's so great to be a part of that small family that has a passion for the game of football and likes to pay it forward. So, yeah, everybody up here, it's awesome.
Well, congratulations, because what an honor it is. I mean, your career, we showed the Super Bowls. You got the ring on as well. What's it like for you to be here at the East-West Shrine Bowl and just now be officially a Hall of Famer?
It's a tremendous honor. This was, the bowl game that when I was growing up, if you had the opportunity to be invited to participate, you were going to make it work. You're going to find a way to make it work. And they were all a little bit different. The Senior Bowl had its element to it, but the East-West Shrine game was really special because of the connection to Shriners Hospitals. And for me, being 23 and going out to California for the first time, kind of being west of the Mississippi, I'm from a small town, and to get around all these great college athletes and then be around the kids. And I think that a lot of us kind of took a step back and said, oh, okay. That element of service, I think, kind of landed on all of us that day we were visiting with the kids. So this is such a great relationship, and I'm so honored and so proud to be a part of the Hall of Fame now because of the names that are already there. I mean, this is the best of the best who've played in this game. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I would have to imagine that you believe that that's probably even more influential nowadays, especially with this world of NIL, where it's so much me, to be able to come here at the East-West Shrine game where it's more about the kids and more about the service aspect. Very important for these kids.
Without a doubt, giving. And I got an opportunity. Mark Stepnowski's here with me. Tony Tolbert was, one of my teammates with the Dallas Cowboys that I met out there. Marcus Paul was my co-captain at Syracuse. We lost Marcus several years ago, but Marcus was a strength coach here with the Dallas Cowboys. So I've got so many great memories from that game, and that's where, we kind of met guys who you competed against. The guys from Boston College, and you're like, man, that guy's a pain in the butt, And then when you meet him in that environment and he's on your team, these guys were awesome. They were tremendous guys. But yeah, I think you make a great point, Isaiah. I think that's where it became a much bigger thing where it wasn't about you anymore. It was what can I do? What kind of impact can I make in something that I designate as my cause moving forward?
You know, Moose, you've been on all different sides of this. You've been on the field, you've been a broadcast, you've been an executive. Putting your executive hat on, what can you get out of watching these guys this week as they're practicing and performing against the best of the best?
I think the big thing is, for me, would be the conversations that you get to have. I think you've got to see a lot of college film. You're going to have some questions. There may be some things that other people have said that you want to get that information. But I really think sitting down across from the player and having that conversation. I know there was a couple of things that people wanted to know about me. It's still one of the great things that happened at one of these all-star games. You know, Bill Parcells came up to me and he said, hey, we got to find out if you can block an outside linebacker on a blitz coming from the edge, because your offense doesn't afford you that opportunity. And that's the one big question mark that everybody has about you. So that was huge for me, then, to know coming into the East-West Shrine game and my other all-star games of what I had to show the NFL scouts.
So Daniels firing here. It's the tight end, Lake McCree, reeling it in. And look, you're telling me about some of the things that these players can do. I know you had an opportunity to talk to a lot of these guys as well. What kind of wisdom, what kind of questions maybe are they even asking you about this process?
Well, I think the biggest thing is
so McCree, by the way, that is an incomplete look. Yep, out of bounds here.
It'll be 4th down.
The biggest thing that I can share for everybody is, you know, just the accountability component. I think that's the biggest thing. I worry sometimes about the game moving forward because it is the ultimate team sport, and there seems to be kind of a separation there, whether it's per unit or per player, and I just think that everybody has to understand that to win Super Bowls at the next level, it's not just the quarterback, it's not just the edge rusher, it's everybody, and we were blessed with our teams here in Dallas. We had tremendous athletes at a number of positions, but I think the thing that really made us special was the bond that we all had, the brotherhood that we had with that team.
Nearly blocked. Stonehouse.
Guy's from Syracuse, he's not going to get blocked. You see a little savviness there, just kind of slid to the right a little bit.
Moose, do you got a couple extra minutes?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Stick with us, because I want to pepper you up with a couple more questions about what you're seeing in the college game as well. We'll see the West take over.
Absolutely not. Don't even ask me.
Well, we were just talking about Jack Stonehouse out of Syracuse. Check this out. The Orange winning the first ever analytics competition here at the East-West Shrine Bowl. We know the emphasis that analytics is now playing across the board in a lot of sports. Moose Johnston with us, now part of the Hall of Fame for the East-West Shrine Bowl. I would love to get your take. You got a rebuttal. You got any more comments about some of these Syracuse kids and what they're doing analytics-wise?
Well, look at that. I mean, you see him. He avoids the block punt. That's a huge play. Look where we are now. We're first down at the 6-yard line. That's fantastic. And now he's probably got some analytics back there. And that's the Falk School of Sports Management at Syracuse University. So that group of kids are unbelievable. I mean, I think last year's class, every single member of the class graduating with their degree in analytics had a job before graduation.
Miller Moss, by the way, checking in, getting his first snaps right now for the West squad.
And so I wanted to ask you, so that you can convey to the audience at home, how difficult is it for these players to come from different schools, different schemes, different thought processes, and come and try to put together a good performance that their draft stock very well might be dependent on in the ultimate team sport?
Yeah, it's amazing because everybody plays it a little bit different, right? It could be just a little bit of a different shade. I'm sitting with Mark Stepnowski watching the first quarter of the game, and him, as a center, dissecting how they're lining up defensively and asking the question: is there certain requirements that they have to play? They can't really kind of get outside of anything but playing this straight four-man front. How does that help a center with nobody on his nose during the course of the game? He's uncovered. There's going to be some people that want to see that. So there's a lot of things just from the way it's structured that you wonder how does that impact the individual players that are out there on the field today. But yeah, I think it's one of the great things though about this is you learn how quickly they can learn and how quickly they can absorb the details of an offense and a defense and then go out and execute that. So I think there's a huge positive to that. We talk about football intelligence, being smart. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, that's one of his great lines. If I ever take a dumb guy again, hit me over the head with a hammer. Don't get caught up in just what they can do from an athletic standpoint. They got to have the smarts to go along with it.
one of the coaches, not going to say which team, because we was all there in the production meeting, said that they installed 100 plays this week for these guys to absorb and be able to go out there and take out and execute.
That is unbelievable to me. Because it's also the verbiage, right? I remember at a Pro Bowl, and we got out, and it was the San Francisco staff, and it was that verbose play call, and I could not get it at all. I never studied harder for a game than that Pro Bowl, because I felt so uncomfortable with the way their play calls were coming in. They were so verbose, and I couldn't break it down into individual elements where I could understand exactly what they were trying to do.
So Miller Moss now under center. He'll roll out. A little dump off here to Jaron Kanak.
Somebody got the microphone.
Someone got hit there on that sideline. You know, you're talking to me about sort of studying hard, and yet I'm seeing guys that come in late make impacts. You know, on the offensive side, C.J. Williams, no padded practice for him. He's got a couple grabs in this game. We were joking about Stonehouse and the near block. Monkel Goodwine, another guy, no padded practices, almost comes up with a block on special teams. So some of these players finding some ways to make an impact, even though they haven't been here for a while.
Well, that's how important this is, and how much does that add to the conversation that's going to be about that player after the game. Hey, this guy walked in last second, went out. We looked at the tape. It doesn't seem like he had a missed assignment during that time. So there's another guy that's a quick learner. It's such an important thing. I think we watch football and we see these, it's the ultimate combat sport, and it's a collision game, and it's violent. And we don't appreciate how smart these guys are. I mean, they are unbelievable. The adjustments that happen from the snap to the end of the play is amazing, and nobody really gets to dig into how good these guys are at adjusting in real time at top speed.
So it's a 3rd and 12 right now for Miller Moss in this East squad. They have yet to convert on a first down. 0-3 up until this point. Moss feeling pressure. Mason Reagor coming in for the sack, and this has been a storyline now in this game. Defensively, what we're seeing really from both squads, guys.
Yeah, Mason Reagor. I know Buck and I both have seen him in practice. Number 22, absolute dog at the defensive end position. You talk about somebody who plays with his hair on fire. You're going to see him run a little TE stunt right there. He goes upfield, comes back underneath, and gets a big boy sack.
What I love about it is just the relentless approach, the energy, the effort. So many pass rushers in the league are able to win, not just on skill, but just tenacity, his ability to continue to work to get on.
So right at basically midfield, Swertham collecting. Got a flag here, guys. Wortham a little bit of a dynamo when it comes to him in special teams. Coaching staff told us they were really eager to see what he could do.
And it's so hard as a return man, especially in these all-star games. There's only so many opportunities that you have. So when you actually get it, you try to find the edge as fast as possible. And unfortunately, sometimes you kind of get caught for a block in the back from one of your teammates that didn't have the proper
During the
leverage.
return, illegal block in the back, number 18, receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
We'll see how the rest of this thing unfolds in terms of the East and what they can bring to the table. Moose, awesome having you in the booth. Again, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. Isaiah, take care. Bucky, good to see you.
Welcome back to the East-West Shrine Bowl here at the Ford Center at the Star. West on top 9, East 0. On the East team, we have offensive tackle Nolan Rucci out of Penn State. And talking to his mom this week, I don't know who was more excited, Mom, Nolan, or his grandfather. That's because Tom Gilborg played in the 1960 East-West Shrine Bowl, and here they are FaceTiming him immediately.
Yeah, so just found out today that I'm going to be playing in the East-West Shrine Bowl game down here in Frisco.
Oh, wonderful. Dad played in that.
I played in that. It'll be cool to carry on the legacy.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're so proud of you. That's great.
That's awesome. I thought that was pretty special.
It really is. Right?
Gilborg was part of Syracuse's 1959 national championship team, and Rucci's mom told me her dad talked about that Shrine experience his whole life. Tom, now 87 years old, is watching from home tonight, so hi, Tom. Football runs deep in the family. Rucci's father played for the Patriots in the 1990s. His brother Hayden, a tight end, just finished his second season with the Dolphins and signed a futures contract with the 49ers last week. And mom, not too shabby. First-team All-American in field hockey at Penn State. She went on to coach at Stanford and Duke. Guys?
Jane, so cool. I mean, you think about the path that a lot of these players have gone through, and they're hoping to realize their NFL dreams, but you almost sometimes forget about the actual play, their families. I mean, how important it is for them.
Yeah, really important, but also you talk about a legacy play. Having a grandfather, a father, brothers that have that kind of, the bloodlines to be able to play in the National Football League. In the scouting rooms, we were talking about, it's the family business.
A lot of times in the DNA is what you're thinking about. You saw Bradley, by the way, with that last reception. Daniel's still in at quarterback for this East squad. It's Eli Heidenreich with the carry. And once again, penetration from this defense. Banks in again on another tackle.
Yeah, Sean Banks did a heck of a job just seeing exactly what's taking place at the line of scrimmage. You're going to see him in the middle of your screen there, just patient. Wait, and then shoot the gap, right? You see him step up near the line of scrimmage, is able to avoid that tight end crackback. Great awareness, good decision-making, the ability to pull the trigger and go make the play.
Yeah, just like the discipline, being able to sit in the hole, but then also make the tackle. We talk about playing in the box. Tackling is a big part of a nice tackle by him.
Banks at a UTSA. See Heidenreich in that backfield. Daniels again under center. Handoff to Heidenreich out of Navy. Short gain. 2-minute warning here at the Star. It is the West handling business up 9-0, dominating offensively. Time to wake up with the only morning show dedicated to the NFL. It's Good Morning Football, weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. Isaiah, you've heard that music before, right?
Yeah, just a few times. Make sure y'all check out GMFB. Your boy might be on there from time to time. Just saying.
Gotta wake up early to see that.
You know, I was fortunate enough to fill in for Jamie a couple times. Isaiah, you walk in, and this dude, Bucky, he's like perked up. I'm like, well, I haven't even had a coffee.
Where'd you get the caffeine from? Where'd you get it from? Where'd you get the caffeine that early in the morning?
The green room.
That free 99, baby.
So Daniels, once again, in on this East team. Moving the sticks here. It's Heidenreich again. You know, I made reference to the fact that it's felt like the West has sort of dominated this game. 133 yards for the West compared to just 50, but you can tack on a couple more off of this gain. And we do have a player down. It is James Thompson Jr., who's made some plays on the defensive side.
First charge timeout for the defense.
You hate to see anybody going down, especially in these type of games. But James Thompson Jr. is somebody who obviously from the first snap has been having one heck of a game. I hope this is something that he can bounce back from. This is these guys' last full dress, full opportunity, full contact prior to having the greatest opportunity of their lives to get their names called. So you'd love to see him be able to get up and walk this off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buck, when we were in those coaches meetings, Thompson's name came up multiple times. He told us about the great energy, lighting up a room. This is a guy that's going to say, hey, good morning, and always seem to have a joke. As you take a closer look here at the East All practice team. If you guys have already made a name for themselves, this is a positive sign as Thompson is able to walk off the field. Buck, I would imagine in a game like this, and we don't know the severity of it, I don't want to speculate, but kind of kid gloves here, right, for this coaching staff and Coach Wells?
Yeah, you want to just be very, very careful with all these guys because you talk about their futures being in your hands. And, you know, you have the practice week, you have the games, but you just want to err on the side of caution when it comes to these injuries.
Coach Wells, and Isaiah, you know him doing a lot, living down here with this Cowboys team. A lot made of that acumen, and he was impressive in our coaches' meetings.
Yeah, Coach Wells, I've had the opportunity to work with him for the past few years covering the Cowboys, and he is somebody who has had a lot of success at the tight end room. Everybody who's came through that room has had a lot of success, from Schultz to Jake Ferguson, and now he's getting greater opportunities as the news came down today.
Heidenreich, some tough yardage for him. Kuwach in for the tackle. Heidenreich, by the way, because we're talking about these metrics and these analytics, fastest player on the field at practice, hitting 20 miles an hour.
Look, really fast. And, you know, the way the league has changed, people are talking less about 40 times and more about where you hit on the GPS. That speed is real.
So Daniels rolling out.
Nice.
He's got a man, and it's Kitzelman. Again, another reception for him. Carson Shire pushing him out of bounds.
That's one of the things from Daniels, man. He just has such good touch. It was watching practices. You know, everybody talks about velocity, but one of the things that is underappreciated is that what you just saw on your screen, the ability to get it up and over a defender's hands, right? Outstretched hands. These guys are 6'4", 6'5". They put their arms in the air. That's 8 feet in the air. These guys are able to loft the ball up, get it down, and make it very catchable.
So many people miss layups, not able to put it off the magic square and get it to go in. He has that nice touch, that floater.
So get out of the gun, Daniels. That play will get blown dead.
Part of the snap, false start, number 65. Offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
So that'll cost the East 5 yards here, something that...
Game clock, operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 4 seconds, please. 1:04.
It's so hard, yeah. I mean, you talk about these offensive linemen, again, they're unfamiliar with these quarterbacks' snap counts and these cadences. And you got to remember, these guys are trying to get off the ball so they can go execute their one-on-one assignment against these defensive ends, right? So they're caught in between getting off at the right time and getting off properly so that they can handle their assignments.
So it's Daniels again out of the gun, feeling some pressure.
Oh,
just releasing. Oh, he's just trying to get out of harm's way there.
You just got to take care of the better ball. He has to learn how to take care of the ball. That was scary.
And good for him. In this game, the East-West Shrine Bowl, there is no intentional grounding. So what may have been intentional grounding at the next time he touches the field, luckily tonight he doesn't get the flag
thrown. Penalty. I understand. Trying to make a heady play, but next level, he certainly have to adapt to new rules.
Keyshawn James Newby in pursuit there. Daniels just scrambling, trying to make something happen.
Somebody to keep your eye on in these type of situations is going to be the tight end, number 87, Lake McCree.
A third down. Daniels again feeling some heat, buying some time. And a pass completed.
Right. You know, he can do that. He did a lot of unique things at Navy. We talk about Navy being a team that wants to run it all the time, but when they had to throw it, he was the guy that they often looked to.
Yeah, you were talking about, before the game started, his ability to catch the ball and be able to run the ball, specifically in this game, how they're utilizing him.
51 catches last season, 941 yards. So to your point, just that dual threat ability that he brings to the table, along with that speed. So setting up a 4th and 2. Marquise Williams deciding to go for it here. We'll see what the play call is. Daniels under center.
Oh,
right in his krill, able to dump it off. McCree.
Good job. Oh, got a little penalty.
And you can see Daniels down in some pain. It's James Newby again in pursuit. Almost had him 2 plays ago.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 56. Defense, penalty will be enforced after this is to the goal line. First down.
I would love to see this again. I didn't know if we were doing this. Here we go, got a little bootleg action. A little blitz, look. Hey,
to the ground.
Hey, to the ground. He jumped in his arms.
Yeah, he wanted a hug. Give me some love.
Come on.
I think that's what they're looking for, right? The shoulder down, feet in the air.
Oh, come on. Even in the All-Star game, come on.
That's WWE off the top rope, you know what I'm saying?
Little Will certainly not happy with that.
It's new life, though. New life.
Daniels out of the gun here on a 1st and goal. Quick trigger, pass batted down. Shad Banks, who's been in on a couple tackles.
Yeah, he's making some plays. Shad Banks dropping in the middle. Gets his hands right there, tightens the passing windows. like the instincts and awareness, get his hands back to the quarterback, his head back to the quarterback, knock it down.
How tough is that as a linebacker, Bucky, to be able to be dropping out to your left, going out to your hook drop, see exactly where the quarterback's eyes are, flip your hips and get your hand on the ball?
Look, you talking about the athletic movements. How about the awareness to kind of feel the routes and the receiver going back there? Great job by Banks.
Sets up a 2nd and goal. Daniels again under center. Heidenreich between the tackles there. Short little game.
About that movement by the offensive line. Yeah, the offensive line did a heck of a job. It was almost like a wave. One thing about offensive line is they play a one unit.
Timeout. East. 30 seconds in lane.
Offensive line play as one unit, and the most difficult thing about this week is you don't get that continuity, right? So when you see holes that are opened up like that, you have to give a lot of kudos to those big fellas up front working together for those combo blocks.
Yeah, they're really doing a good job working together.
I'm just going to say 3rd and goal situation here, Buck. Marquise Williams calls the timeout. What's he cooking up?
But look, like what we've seen tonight, a lot of bootleg passes, a lot of naked. So we talked about our tight end from USC sneaking out the backfield. Look for him to come sneaking out to the flat to be able to drop it to him. Correct.
And they're starting to get a beat on that now. You see that? Now they're starting to take the defensive ends and take them upfield, which is why he got DDT'd earlier on a couple plays ago.
Blake McCree, the tight end that you're making reference to, number 87, who we saw at practice this week, guys, really have some pretty good impact. Coaching staff loved him up. I would say I would question his decision-making at times. Really cold this week. I happened to see him go outside in shorts and a T-shirt. So Mama McCree.
He's a gamer.
Yeah, you might be a little concerned about your son staying a little warm here. Daniels out of the gun. 3rd and goal. And he's going to take off, skipper into the end zone.
Skip to my Lou. We talk about decision making, but drop back in this situation when you have the dual threat ability. We talked about how he's at Kansas, 2nd in rushing, 2nd in passing yards, 2nd all time in all round yards, 10,000 plus yards. You're going to see him check his number 1, number 2. Oh, nobody has me? Thank you very much. I'll take those.
Yeah, they'll scoot in. Got the little Isaiah stand back high step. I remember seeing that at UW every now and then. Way to put it in the paint.
What ball security? Don't need no ball security. I'm scoring.
Even got a hoodie on.
Yeah.
Got a hoodie on up under the pads.
Did you drop a Ray for Alston reference, by the way?
We did have a skip to my little and one.
I just wanted to be clear, because, Buck, I know you and I always talk hoops. I was making sure that you caught that as well.
No, I did hear him.
So remember, got to go for 2 here. No PATs in this game.
Good.
And holding on to the football is Noah Thomas in the back of the end zone.
He is not a hard target to miss. At 6'6", you guys are going to see him work the back of the end zone. Check to your left, come back across the middle. Got the big fella back there. Little bobble, but as long as I come down with it, it counts the same.
Oh, it counts the same. That's really good anticipation by Daniels, putting it right on. He put it right on the chest, right there. Had the bobble, still good. Can't say a tub, but nice 2-point conversion.
We heard about the poise of Daniels, who in this first half is 8 of 14 passing, 52 yards, also using his legs at different times. And you can see just the embrace from some of his teammates, certainly excited for him.
And it stands out. When you walk out here, again, we're coming out here trying to learn about 100-plus guys on this field for this week, right? Amazing opportunities. But there are certain individuals that just stand out, whether it be for your athletic prowess or whether it be for your leadership and your charisma, like we're seeing right there out of that young man, Jalen Daniels. He's done a heck of a job, and it's shown up in terms of the coaches because they all rave about him as well.
100 players. You get the Cliff Notes version of prep?
I mean, we're just trying to, rounding down.
So Weechen collects here at about the 5. But once again, we got a little bit of a speedster trying to turn the corner, and he gets wrapped up and brought down. Devontae Smith.
Yeah, he's not getting the big boy checks yet, but at the next level, that's going to be a nice little package waiting for you in your locker.
Personal foul, face mask, number 20. Kicking team, 15 yards, will be added to the end of the run. First down.
So flag here. So under 20 seconds to go before halftime. And You know, Jake Bobo, I remember prepping for that 2023 East-West Shrine Bowl. I talked to Jerry Neuheisel, who coached him at UCLA, kept telling me, hey, this is a Swiss Army knife out there. And then I see him catch a touchdown over the weekend.
And Bobo doing it. You see Drake Thomas from the hometown. Look, man, guys making it from the East-West Shrine to the Super Bowl. What an accomplishment.
So Miller Moss, we had heard from Sean Mannion, offensive coordinator for this West team. There's good command from Moss in these sort of the late game situations. So we said we'd see him probably before halftime, which is exactly what we get right now. So Donaldson gets pushed out of bounds.
And more importantly, C.J. Donaldson, the coaches talk about his physical prowess. 6'2", 232 pounds. Most guys show your physicality, but they don't have the wherewithal to understand that the situation is you need to get out of bounds. Not only was he physical, but he understood I need to run through this man as much as possible and work my way upfield and get out of bounds so that they can stop the clock.
Yeah, situational awareness is important. It's one of the things that you're looking for. We talk about the on the field, but IQ, football IQ is important.
A loss of 1, but an extra tick on the clock as Moss looks over the middle. And it's Eric Rivers with the catch. And we'll stop the clock here.
At 6 seconds, the West team called their second charge and final timeout of the half, 30 seconds in length.
I don't know if we have anybody to kick a 67-yarder.
Well, we were told that for Smack, we'd probably be looking at about that 58 or so.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, not quite there yet, but you can see the. I'm just smiling because I got Tommy DeVito here.
Wow. Look at that Shrine Bowl alumni over there on the Patriots. We talked about the Seahawks already, but look at the names. Look how many guys from last year alone.
1, 2, 5 guys.
And Efton Chisholm, who was the talk of the town last year, he was a late ad.
Yeah.
And I brought this up to you before the broadcast. I said, hey, Weegee kind of reminds me a little bit of him.
Yeah, Chisholm absolutely ate up everybody last year at the East-West Shrine practices. And then obviously he has a great opportunity to go to the league and play for a great organization that just completely turned it around. 4 wins last year. Coach Vrabel now all of a sudden finds his way to the Super Bowl. Chisholm, as well as 4 other guys from the Shrine Bowl last year, are playing an opportunity to go get some jewelry this year. Great opportunity.
All right, so let's reset here. We got a 3rd and 3 for Miller Moss and company. About 6 seconds to go before halftime. Trey Smack, the kicker out of Florida. His career long is 56. Staff told us at the end of a half they might push it to about 58. So still need to pick up a quick little pass here, stop the clock, and they get an opportunity maybe to set up that field goal.
Yeah, I think it worked to the sideline real quick, pick up about 10 yards. Should take up about 3 or 4 seconds off the clock.
Moss fires, and right out of bounds goes Rivers. Exactly what they were looking for. So Trey Smack will come out for the attempt from 51, and you can see some of these analytics according to PFF, what he's been able to do. This not bad here, 83% on those kicks, 50 plus. This from 57. So this would be a career long for him.
We saw it in pre-practice. He was hitting them from 56 yards. So let's see if he can get a couple more yards out of this one.
Money.
And that thing is good.
Might have just got yourself a check, young man. Look at the celebration by the team. Look at everybody. The whole team came over to give him some love. Love to see it.
Got to imagine Randall Jets, special teams coordinator, got to be thrilled. He was pretty hyped up about smacking some of what he could potentially do in this game and showcasing this with a new career high.
Yeah, absolutely drills it. And there's a great opportunity to have a career high. It would be in your last game in pads prior to your opportunity to get in the league, right down the middle.
Money.
Not only do you have a special teams coach in this game from the New York Jets, but how many other teams? 31 other teams checking you out.
Gotta love that.
Here's Jane. Jane's with Coach right now.
Hey, Coach, you lead this one heading into the break. Mark Gronowski, he was 7 of 10, 86 yards. But the thing that got us all talking were those 2 blocks to help his running back get in the end zone. As a talent evaluator yourself in this league, How much is that tape going to play leading up to the combine?
Again, it just shows a guy that's a competitor, you know, a guy that's doing it for his team, doing it for a guy that's, you know, he's throwing the ball to. He threw a phenomenal block. He executed really well on those 2 drives. We had a 10-play drive and we had a 12-play drive. So I thought the offense did a phenomenal job those first 2 drives. We just got to clean up some stuff with his second group. And then big-time play right there with +4 on explosives. So we got to continue to build on that. Just got to be a little bit better in the pass rush game on defense, a little bit better in pass protection on line stunts. But I think the guys are doing an excellent job so far.
East made this one a fun one before the break, 26 to go, and then you put your kicker out there, 57-yard field goal. What was he showing you in practice this week? What's his range?
Again, he showed that he had a really good range. You know, if you can just get the ball to the 40-yard line. That's why I was just standing on the 40-yard line the whole time, and we can get it to the 40-yard line. They gave us soft coverage right there, and we was able to execute. Miller did an excellent job getting the ball out, getting it completed to a receiver with 6 seconds to go with 1 second left on the clock. Great execution by those guys.
Looking forward to the half.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Jane, the end of the first half here in Frisco, 12-8 is the count. West on top. Coming up, Jane's going to be back with us with Bob Roller, the Vice President of Sports, Shriners Children's Hospital.
Welcome back to the East-West Shrine Bowl here from the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. West up 12, East 8, and they certainly made this one a game with 26 to go. We were able to see a touchdown, then we saw a successful 2-point conversion, and then after that, we saw the West team decide that they were going to go there for a 57-yard field goal. I am joined by Vice President of Sports for Shriners Children, Bob Roller. I've gotten to get to know you really well these last couple of years. How much fun are we having out here tonight?
We're having a great time. It's an ice skating rink outside. We're really pleased with the crowd that's shown up, and it's a great competitive game.
And you're blocking for me earlier. We've got flag football out here behind us. I almost had an 8-year-old take me out, so I appreciate that. This is the 101st year for this game. Why do you think this resonates so much with people? I mean, it's one thing to showcase a lot of these players, but it has a lot to do with the kids, doesn't it?
It really does. As we always say, by the end of the week, they are the all-stars, even though these guys are heading for the NFL. So we really have enjoyed it for 101 years. The sole purpose has been to raise money for Shriners Hospitals for Children, and it's been a fabulous time for us for this century.
And you guys keep just getting better and better at this. Can you talk about some of the innovations and some changes that you've even just made this year to improve the game?
Just working so much closer with the NFL. We really have taken a lead with Troy Vincent and his staff to work on how we would do more sideline work, analytics, the fact that we have motion analysis now for all the players. They are really loving it. They spent hours in that lab all hooked up like they were in a bionic movie.
And that analytics competition this week I thought was so fascinating. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, it was a dream that came through one of our sponsors that brought folks from across the country. We had a full house at the Hyatt on Sunday, and the team went away with $5,000.
You know, for people that are not familiar with the Shriners mission, I just want to re-educate some of those at home because it's one of the things that I'm so proud to be a part of. 2 million kids have been served regardless of what their financial situation is. Can you tell me a little bit about who are some of these kids that you guys serve and take care of?
Well, you're right, 2 million over a century. But most recently, as you were able to join us at a press conference last fall, a young man named Dallas was here from the Shreveport Hospital, and Dallas is 17 years old. He was born without a tibia bone. And later in his youth, at about 6 years old, he had to have his leg amputated. And he's worked with Shriners in Shreveport for the last 12 years. Now he is a starting defensive player for his high school team, had 12 solo tackles, met Jerry Jones and Daryl Moose Johnson at the press conference and said, "Look out, Mr. Jones, I'm coming."
Can I tell you, I was at that press conference, Bob, and he was so confident. He literally told Jerry, you know, I love that his name is Dallas, and I know Dallas is likely watching at home. Hello, Dallas. LSU fan, so I know he's got to love seeing Hilton here. But just so impressive. I mean, how much is it seeing some of those guys and seeing the confidence of the guys and the girls just encourage you to keep growing this game?
Well, it does, and we had a Zoom yesterday. Unfortunately, with the weather, we've been unable to bring the patients here, but we had a great Zoom yesterday with both teams talking to 5 patients, and they just really resonated for an hour. They came to us afterward and said, what can we do? Hopefully, when they go into the NFL, the My Cause, My Cleats, they'll do that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the other things, too. Some of the kids that you showcase here, I say kids, they are grown adults. I'm getting up there in years, Bob. But a lot of these players say that this particular showcase resonates with them because of the way they give back in their own communities. You have a player that I'm going to highlight later in the game. He has dealt with diabetes since he was 6 years old. He has a glucose monitor, and he said being a part of this was so important to him because he raises money for the hospitals on the side. So just love getting to know some of these guys, the spirit of this game, and you and your staff, you guys just, I love seeing the way that you contribute and make this such an important part of this Frisco community. Hope we get to keep it around. You know, and this showcase isn't just about the players, guys. This has a lot to do about the coaches. You know, you've got Marquise Williams here, Lunda Wells, Aaron Whitecotton is here. He just got a job. I mean, all these guys are in the
years ago.
Yes, they're all here in the coaching carousel right now. We decided to mic them up this week, and we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. Right now, remember, this is a game that is ongoing. We are here at the half. It is West 12, East 8. Let's get to know the coach a little bit better on the other side of this break. Welcome back to the East-West Shrine Bowl, the 101st game for the Shriners Children's Hospital. We've got West on top at 12, East 8. You know, all week we've talked about how this showcased so many players, an opportunity to showcase skills and position flex that maybe they didn't get to do in college, but it's also an opportunity for a lot of the emerging coaches. We've seen quite a robust coaching carousel this year, and how interesting that we've got Aaron Whitecotton on staff this year. Aaron, of course, taking a job this week. We've got Sean Mannion in the mix. And then so as we look at some of these guys, we thought, especially Marquise Williams. He's been here for 3 years. We've got Lunda Wells. This is his debut at the East-West Shrine Bowl. How do they approach practice? How do they motivate their team? We mic'd him up a little bit to give you a little showcase at home.
10 guys in the huddle, you know what I'm saying? And not 12 guys in the huddle, or 11 guys in the huddle. Once you step in, you got 12 guys in the huddle, that's a flag. You know what I'm saying? So gather information. Lower your pulse while you're standing back there looking. Let's go, base, base, base. See, I'm getting loose too, man, because I'm going to be running. I'm going to be running. Look at that ball. Yeah, accused. You guys control this thing, you know what I'm saying? Lower y'all pulse. You lower y'all pulse, you know what I'm saying? Y'all control it. You just ripped it here, they're not going to call it. Get your hands above your eyes. Get your hands above your eyes. Rip it. There we go. There we go. It's supposed to hold. Man, God could have chose anybody, Carson. Man, he could have got anybody, man, but he got us. You know what I'm saying? Hey, urgency out the huddle. Let's go. Y'all set the tone. Set the tone. Let's go. There you go. Come on. I know y'all ain't stretch out in Wisconsin, man. Jake already told me, man. Ferg already said, man, we ain't do nothing over there in Wisconsin. Quality over quantity. Drive, drive, drive. Stay up. Stay up. Quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. So even on that, when you sit there and you pop, and then when you break, get your eyes to the spot, then get your eyes back to the ball. You know what I mean? The more you perform, the more you get evaluated. You hear? Now, if you feel good, perform. If you feel good, perform. If you don't feel good, I get it. They let y'all wear your pads like that in college? Not Kirby. Heavy hands up front. Heavy hands. Great leverage, heavy hands. You don't like nice things, huh? That's crazy work. Up that quarterback. Run, we're running. Good. Good, 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 good. Here we go. Oh, let's go. Look at fly. Well done, let it run. Well done. Well done. Now snap back to the hole. Let's go. Snap back to the hole. Call it, Carson. Call it, Carson. Call Yardo. I'll celebrate with you if you make it to the end zone. Come on. You got to pay my fine, though. Miller, get your ass out the huddle. Gather information. Lower your pulse.
All right, I'm here with Jeff Christensen. He is a quarterbacks coach for guys like Patrick Mahomes, and I always love seeing this guy on the sidelines here at East West. We saw Mark Gronowski, who you work with out of Iowa, 7 of 10, 86 yards in the first half. But it was the fact that he blocked those 2 guys to help the running back get in the end zone. What other elements of Gronowski's game are we not familiar with?
Well, he's just a good kid. He's just a good old-fashioned Polish kid from Chicago. His mom and dad are salt of the earth. He's tough. He's a worker. He does all the little intangible things that you want your quarterback to do. They all say they do, but some do and some don't. He kind of does it all the time. So he's a great leader, just a great kid.
What have you guys been working on this offseason as he gets ready for the draft?
Well, you got to throw a little bit differently in the NFL because guys are fast and smart. So you got to throw people open and throw balls on time. And so in college, you can wait just a split second longer, maybe because the DBs aren't quite as savvy and as quite as quick. But at this next step, you got to throw them open very quickly before they start to make their cut, oftentimes throwing to the back of their head. And that's what he's working on right now.
We got to get out of here quickly, too, Jeff Christensen. That's what we learned as reporters. We'll be back with the second half of the East-West Shrine Bowl on the other side of this break.
Start of the third quarter in just a few moments. West on top of the East 12-8. The quarterbacks, all three that played in the first half, were certainly impressive in their own right. Miller Moss closed things out for the West. He was a perfect 6-6. His day might be done, but you highlighted Gronowski at the start. I got to tell you, passing, running, blocking, it seemed like he was willing to sacrifice his body.
Yeah, he was absolutely in his bag. And the thing that you liked about him coming in was the winning pedigree. We talked about the 68 starts, the 58-10 record at South Dakota State and Iowa, respectively. And he lived up to the expectation. See him outside the pocket, delivering dimes, making plays with his legs, doing everything that you want to see a winning quarterback do. Man, he grades out highly for the way that he played. And then this, a little cherry atop the sundae. A little physicality, a little toughness. Football player, not a prima donna quarterback. You love that.
Oh, so you want to pump up your guy, okay? What about the guy on the left-hand side of the screen? Jalon Daniels. You see him doing a good job right there as well, okay? 8 for 14, 52 yards passing. Doesn't necessarily jump out at you. The 3 yards rushing doesn't jump out at you as well. But thing is, he scored a touchdown and held with his legs. Went out there and talked about his dual threat ability. He did a good job of managing the drives, getting himself out of some bad situations, made some nice touch passes, and then obviously used his athletic abilities. You guys see it right here, putting the ball on the money. It's all about the accuracy, coming out on the bootleg, getting the ball out with pressure in your face, and then again, using your athletic ability to avoid pressure, get out on the edge, and throw a nice, accurate ball on the dime. Put the ball in your playmakers' hands, let them do what they do, and then when everybody else runs away from you, go out there and cross the goal line for a touchdown.
You know, Buck, one of the interesting things about Daniels' game, heading into this matchup, we didn't know how much he would actually play. We weren't sure. We had heard that he was a little dinged up. We thought we'd get a steady dose of Kyron Drones in the first half after that first quarter was complete. That didn't happen, though, but we will expect to see for the East Kyron Drones the rest of the way. Haynes King should start the third quarter for the West team. Nice return here to start things off as Jane Slater's got more.
Hey, guys, I went and grabbed Marquise Williams after this one, and I said, hey, love the fact that you guys stayed in this one at the end. He goes, I had another trick up my sleeve. He said he was going to try to ice the kicker. He said he had a timeout. They said he didn't. He goes, turns out I had a timeout.
Jane, the one thing that we're learning from that is always trust in Marquise, who, by the way, I mean, last year, his team won. This is his third time. He's 1-1 in these games. And when you talk about an organizational standpoint, I mean, he gives so much autonomy to a lot of his coaches, understands delegation, and he wants to lift everyone up. That is abundantly clear back-to-back years now that we've had an opportunity to talk to him.
Yeah, Marquise, his team obviously dominated absolutely last year. But this year, you know, one thing that you really have a high regard for is his consistency, his attention to detail. Everybody on his coaching staff comes together and they understand that it's all about the players. They talked about how they watch film. They talked about how they install different types of schemes to highlight these players. It's not solely about these coaches and their opportunity. They understand it's about getting these guys to the next level.
Yeah, getting big guys to the next level, putting them in elevated roles, understanding how to run more than just your position room, being able to do those things. So I love it. 3 times he's been a head coach. Each and every time he's gotten better at being able to understand what he wants to do and delegate it to his guys so they can have those opportunities.
TJ Harden with his first carry, good for 8, and you can see him again coming out of the backfield, getting pushed out of bounds. That's Jaden Duggar forcing him out there. Haynes King getting the start now for this West offense. When you talk about accomplished quarterbacks, what he did last year, Buck, you and I were talking about this. He is just a gamer. There's no other way to describe his game.
Yeah, absolute ball. 102 total touchdowns in his career at Texas A&M and Georgia Tech. 15 rushing touchdowns last year at Georgia Tech alone. ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Rugged, rough. He's one of those guys, a little bit of a throwback mentality. He's going to make it happen as a thrower, but really, the magic happens when he runs.
So King under center, something that he is comfortable with. And you can see again it dumped off is Bowers Sharp. We were told he's a well-rounded tight end who was going to be making some plays. Here's another look at Haynes King.
Look, man, when you talk about Georgia Tech football, it's about their physicality and toughness, and he's the tip of the spear when it comes to their ability to really impose their will on opponents. We saw him run out, talking about 15 rushing touchdowns, being able to throw it, get to the playmakers. The Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech reemerged as a team that was very competitive. A lot of it was due to Haynes King playing at a high level.
But word on the street is he's one of the fastest QBs in the nation.
I mean, he might be fast now. I mean, sometimes you just got to kick your shoes off and race.
Nice cutback.
See Donaldson taking a brunt of a big hit on the other side. Is Wesley Williams.
Continue to talk about C.J. Donaldson's vision. I want you guys to watch how he presses this thing forward over here and then cuts it back. His ability to see that backside, he does a heck of a job with that. And then the coaches all rave about his physicality. You see him ability to make contact with the first defender. Second defender comes and he still finds a way to fall forward. Those 2 and 3 extra yards makes all the difference in the world when you start talking about possessing the ball.
Wes Williams in on that tackle, but to take a big hit. Miles Rouser, we'll have more on him in just a moment. Over the middle, tips and overthrows, gotta get those, and they do not. Another opportunity for an interception. Duggar right in his hands, not able to pull it in.
I'm gonna teach everybody at home this one little exercise. When I say tips and overthrows, what do they gotta say? Gotta get those. So tips and overthrows, gotta get those.
I mean, that's a layup.
Oh, you see 1, 2.
Oh, don't be afraid to be great.
Oh, it's like playing a game of hot potato.
Yeah, this is a converted safety who, by the way, we were told had 2 picks in these practices. Should have had 3, but he actually dropped one.
Oh, King! Ball's out. 22.
There you go, that man.
Yes, Mason Reagor again.
Making plays.
We were told, Energizer Buddy chases guys down, never stops. You can see him in pursuit.
Man, you talk about somebody who has relentless effort. Let's look at the man himself right here on the edge. Does a heck of a job just coming off the line of scrimmage with relentless effort, attacking the upfield shoulder of the offensive tackle, and then just not stopping. You see the swipe, the dip, the ability to utilize the hips, get underneath, and then find a way to come up with the strip sack on the QB. Not only strip sack, but get the turnover for your team. One heck of a job. He is as advertised.
Yeah, Mason Reagor's done a really good job of being able to make that transition. In the National Football League is about hunting the ball. They're coming off the edge, little tomahawk chop, knock it out. He's inching closer to one of those awards that we may hand out at the end of the game.
Is that his second sack on the day?
Yeah.
That is number 2. For Mason Reagor, who, once again, you think about some of these defenses on both of these teams and the plays that we've seen, sort of these crucial situations. It's Kyron Drones. It's ACC quarterback versus ACC quarterback now. And I know, Buck, you were impressed with the cannon on Drones.
I mean, you talk about, from a prototypical standpoint, being able to just throw the ball and throw with toughness. Before we talk about him, how about running the ball downhill and finishing with a little power and pop?
Chip Traynham. They told us downhill, let's see what this guy can do. We saw a couple carries from him in the first half also. Not afraid of the contacts. It's Caden Fordham. I'd say in on the tackle. I think he just was in the way.
Yeah, he took the blunt of that one, but you talk about the ability to stop and go, Bucky. Being able to see the defensive line, present themselves at the line of scrimmage, hit them with this skister. You wait here, I'm going to go here, and then go out there and finish the play.
Drones out of the gun, just off the fingertips of Chris Hilton.
Yeah, Kyron Drones is somebody that we saw this week, and he just has this physical prowess about him. You talk about a big quarterback who has a physical attribute, 6'2", 235 pounds. When people talk about Drones, they talk about a Cam Newton-type body. Not necessarily the Cam Newton height, but everything about him, how he maneuvers, how he has his swag, his ability to sit in the pocket and throw the ball with high velocity, but also be able to utilize his legs. He has this quiet confidence about him that you just can't shake him. Coaches talk about there's vocal leaders and then there's leaders that walk the talk. He is the walk the talk type quarterback. He's going to do one heck of a job at the next level.
Trade him running into a wall. And speaking of that, Buck, one of our colleagues in Will Blackman, actually was on a lot of the calls for Virginia Tech this year.
Yeah.
Talked to him a little bit earlier. He said he's got as strong of his arm as any quarterback in the country.
It's just about putting it together. You know, that's the thing. He has the physical tools and the traits that you look for in the position. Isaiah talked about his running ability, just putting it together. And he showed flashes throughout the week that might be enough to intrigue some teams to bring him into camp and see if they can develop him.
Good body frame as well on Drones. Also showed a whole lot of athleticism running the football last couple campaigns for the Hokies. Right on cue.
Dart.
That's so good. That's the start. That is so good.
Nick DeGennaro reeling that thing in, the wide receiver from James Madison. I talked to him earlier this week. A bundle of personality. I don't know how else to describe this dude who was so eager, played in the American Bowl, took a red eye, and he goes, I just want to play. I hope I get like 15 snaps in this game and making each one of them count here.
That stem at the top of the route was amazing. He ran up, just pressed the outside shoulder of the corner, made him think he was going to get to his back shoulder, run and go, and then broke it off. Came who was pass friendly for the quarterback.
DeGennaro had a big game against Oregon in the CFP. Train him.
Oh, way to go! In life, Isaiah, sometimes you're the hammer and the nail. Like a train is showing, you are the hammer coming downhill right behind his pass. I love the way he finished.
Oh my goodness! Again, you guys are going to see him press it, boom, press, cut back. You see him lead the defensive lineman to one side of his offensive line, helps his offensive lineman get the solid block, and then he said, "Bring it! I'll meet you in the hole. I'm going to not only run at you, I'm going to run through you."
Buck, you know, at halftime, you turned to me, asked me about MVP of the first half. I'll tell you what, a long football game here. I think someone else making a little bit of a case.
He's certainly making some noise, being able to finish those runs off like that. I love it.
Husky now in on back-to-back tackles.
But even that play right there, yeah. Most running backs are going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss of -2, -3. Even just getting back to the line of scrimmage on that play, because his stop and start ability is absolutely insane. Everybody doesn't possess that ability, and you see him showing it off multiple times on this drive alone.
You can see 7 carries, 39 yards for the running back out of Toledo. Drones out of the gun on the 2nd and 10. Pocket collapse, and he gets brought down. It's Michael Heldman in on the sack out of Central Michigan.
Yeah,
good
Michael
job.
Heldman.
Just right here, you guys are going to see him on the edge of your screen. Just does a good job just continuing to work. Goes upfield, spin back, come underneath. And the reason why defensive ends do that, they press the outside. Quarterbacks are accustomed to stepping up in the pocket. The defensive ends understand that. So what they do is they press the outside edge of the tackles. The tackles overset. They spin back underneath where they know the quarterbacks are going to step up. Boom, Johnny on the spot for a sack.
So a loss of 5 here, setting up a 3rd and 15 for the East in their offense. Drones get forced out of the pocket and a run out of bounds.
And we're starting to see the difference in continuity between the first unit offensive line and the second unit offensive line. Not only do these guys have their own matchups that they have to be concerned about, they have to be concerned about working as a unit up there.
Yeah, working as a unit, the communication, being able to get everyone on the same page. Talk about those 5 playing as one. We're seeing some leakage in the pocket, but it's giving us an opportunity to see the quarterbacks and how they handle the rest.
62 reporting is eligible. 15-62.
So on for 33, Dominic Saveda, who's got an amazing story. Kicker out of Michigan, had an opportunity to play in some of these all-star showcases, and he wanted to come here. Man, top And that is good. He watched Jake Moody win game MVP back in 2023, and he said, East-West Shrine Bowl, that's where I want to go. All knocking on the door of the NFL draft, and of course we're getting you set for that because we got the best draft eligible players heading to Mobile, Alabama for a chance to impress 32 NFL teams. You can watch the 2025 Heisman finalist Diego Pavia and Butkus Award winner Jacob Rodriguez at the Panini Senior Bowl Saturday 2:30 Eastern Time, exclusively on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. So Savannah just knocked through a 33-yard field goal to have the East creep a little bit closer. Now trailing the West squad 12-11. Eric Rivers inside the 10 will collect, and he'll take it out, finding some room, and he gets pulled down at about 37. Devontae Smith bringing him down on that tackle. I feel like we've called his name a whole lot. We'll see the response from the West coming up next.
Welcome back to the East-West Shrine Bowl here at the Ford Center at the Star. We've got West on top 12, East 11. And, you know, they say the little moments stand out to you here at these sort of showcases. I'm walking along the sidelines. I had heard from your agent earlier this week. You got to talk to my guy, Micah Pettis. Micah is an offensive tackle. He played at Ole Miss, finished up at Florida State. And what do they say, the best laid plans? Florida State sent his pads here, guys, and they never showed up. He was able to borrow some for practice this week, but of course he didn't feel comfortable playing in the game in this one. We confirmed this is legit. The pads never showed up. How frustrating was that? Because you said you're a competitor.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love to compete. I came out here to compete. I didn't come out here to watch. But I mean, like, it's very unfortunate. I mean, like, you got to control the controllables. They did a great job making it available for me to be able to get somebody else's pads, be able to practice. So I made the most of my opportunity. But yeah, very upset that I didn't get a chance to go out here and compete with the guys.
I love seeing how excited he is for some of his teammates here on the sideline. You told me you talked to all 32 teams. What did you tell them they are getting from you as an offensive tackle?
They're getting a guy that loves the game. I love to play through the echo of the whistle. I move pretty well for a guy my size. I got good strength, good feet, and I use my length to my abilities.
And real quick, we've got some Super Bowl pedigree here. Your brother, an undrafted free agent 2 years ago, ends up on the Patriots. He's a safety, and you are going to watch your brother at the Super Bowl next week.
Yeah, it's very exciting. My big brother, Dale, shout out to him. Getting a chance to go out there and watch him. You know, we always dreamed and talked about this since we were little, creating players on Madden, you know, all that good stuff. So, I mean, I was very excited to get out there and see him. Very proud of him.
Absolute pleasure talking to you. Guys, this is what we're talking about, initiative. He walked up. He's like, I'm going to sell myself if you're not going to get film of me on the sidelines. Guys, what do you think about it up in the booth?
Well, he said big brother. I'd say big little brother because Dell right now is 5'11", and Mike is 6'6". So for whatever that's worth, little size discrepancy there. By the way, we saw Haynes King with the big reception for 25 yards to his teammate from Georgia Tech, Eric Rivers, who actually led the team in scoring. Nice to have some familiarity there.
Yeah, very much so, man. Haynes King did one heck of a job of getting out the pocket on a bootleg, and there was nothing that was going on front side, so he actually directed Eric Rivers to go ahead and stop his over route, do it on his other shoulder so he can go out there and do something those yards after the catch. He made a big play for the offense.
King, a clean pocket, dump off to TJ Harden for a short gain.
Yeah, good job on early down, taking the check down. Now setting up a third and manageable. Let's see what Haynes King's able to do on this critical down.
So good for 5 yards. And as you made reference to a critical third down, the West 4 of 8 on third down so far today.
Haynes King has a solid receiving core out there right now. He has a lot of really good options. C.J. Williams from Stanford. He has Caden Weegan out there. Eric Rivers. His defense is going to have to figure out exactly who they want to cover on this play.
King out of the gun. Ooh, right to Weegan, and this was rinse and repeat from practice.
Short, might be a yard short.
I think I have a feeling that head coach Linda Wells is going to do on this fourth down.
Can we tush push? Can we tush push in their All-Star game?
Let's not put that into the ecosphere, Buck. Not to sound like the old man.
I don't know if it was in the rules. I'm just saying.
Hey,
I'm just saying if I'm Luda, I might consider using that because I don't know if that was clearly defined in the rules.
Listen, Buck, when you have a C.J. Donaldson in the backfield, you don't need a tush push.
So 4th and 1. King to Donaldson.
I told you.
And then some. It's Lander Barton in for the tackle. Back-to-back now for him. He's a guy that I know you loved, Isaiah.
Yeah, I loved him in practice. Even like I said, there's some guys that jump out for different reasons in practice, but Lander Barton is somebody who just popped. His energy, his tenacity that he had, his relentless effort, but also he's a big presence, and he has some pedigree in his family as well.
Yeah, Buck, you talked about it in the DNA. Cody Barton, who started every game for the Titans.
Yeah, look, Cody Barton being able to do it. We talk about the family business. When you have guys that have multiple family members that play in the league, you certainly love that.
Donaldson gets not much doing there. You know, we talked about Barton, by the way. You talked about that DNA. Kyle Whittingham, former coach at Utah, talk about player development, especially on the defensive side. He's a machine. Aaron Hall in for the tackle.
Yeah, Aaron Hall did a heck of a job on that play too, Yam, before we go on to the next play of running that thing down. He got some internal pressure and chased that thing all the way down from the backside. As a big fella, interior defensive lineman, you love to see that effort on the backside, being able to run the play down.
Yeah, it is about the effort, man. It's about seeing the hustle, about seeing if they're going to put it in, if they're going to chase from sideline to sideline over the course of the game.
So King, no man's land. I believe it was Jaron Kanik who was the intended receiver there.
Listen, I can tell you what, they are not going to make it easy on Haynes King right now because that defensive line has some complete dogs over there that can get after the quarterback. You got Wesley Williams that's in the game. You got Mason Reiger that's in the game. Also, you got Lander Barton that we just finished talking about. They got some dudes that can get a headhunt. So if you're Haynes King, you might want to check option 1, option 2, and figure out how to get out of the pocket.
East bringing some thumpers on the defensive line is King again on a 3rd and 9 out of the gun. Lofts it up and an incomplete pass. C.J. Williams had a couple grabs early in the first half. The intended receiver who just got here. No padded practices for the wideout. Just arrived on Monday. Sunday night, I should say.
Just ran out of room. You know, obviously they tried to do a back shoulder throw. There was an incatchable ball because the ball was out of bounds. But you see how the lack of room that he has on the sideline.
Number 79.
Defensive backs like Bucket, they love to see guys working to that sideline.
Hey, man, that was long foul ball. Long foul ball. Press him to the sideline. Yep. Try to make it fit into a tight window.
So Trey Smack, this should be a layup for him. 40, connected on 24 and a career high 57 just before halftime. Plenty of leg and making it look easy. Luna Wells, gotta like that, is West team up 15-11. We'll see what the rebuttal is from East. All right, welcome back. Virginia Union running back Curtis Allen won the 2025 Harlan Hill Award as the most valuable Division II player in the nation. You can watch Allen and other draft-eligible players from historically black colleges and universities at the 5th Annual All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl, Saturday, February 21st, 4 Eastern, exclusively on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. Buck, I know you'll be there for it. You and I got an opportunity to hang out down in New Orleans last year. What an awesome event.
Yeah, what an awesome event. In this game, we talk about Jared Washington, who was just in on that last play, the incompletion. South Carolina State representing. We're going to get a chance to see a bunch of HBCU All-Stars doing their thing at the Legacy Bowl.
Saw Haynes King there on the sidelines. Fumble loss for him. Just for context here, 6 fumbles, 3 lost this past season at Virginia Tech. He was able to rebound there on that scoring drive, leading to some points. So Michael Wortham again collects at the 10, and he's got plenty of space. Nice return.
You can't let the kicker tackle. You can't let the kicker tackle.
It's a Florida kicker, though. It's a Florida boy.
So there's a look at Cam Ward, the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft, and you're thinking to yourself, and we do have a penalty here. We'll get to that in a second. But
return team, number 20, 10-yard penalty for the spot foul. First down.
All Reset here on that in just a moment. But Kyron Drones, sort of in that DNA. We continue to talk about these family legacies. Two guys, by the way, that still train together. They're cousins. Just in case you're wondering, yes, they have played each other. Miami actually taken out Virginia Tech a couple seasons ago, 38-31, but no need to remind Kyron of that.
Yeah, who better to learn from? You know what I'm saying? You have an older cousin who is in the league, #1 overall pick, has just gone through his rookie season. He can get him prepped and ready for what he's about to encounter as a young quarterback entering the league.
It's Kyron Drones getting another opportunity here in this third quarter. Oof.
Was hidden. Hidden.
Joe. Jed Banks again. I feel like we've called his name on the defensive side multiple times today.
Yeah, he's made multiple plays. He's made plays down in the end zone. He had a breakup. He's come downhill a few times and filled the hole. Here, dipping up under. Making a play. Nice little play. Hey, got to take you straight up high. Wiggle.
The hip mobility, though.
Yeah. He's certainly been going over and under those hurdles in the offseason workouts.
Absolutely.
94 tackles last year at UTSA. That actually led the team. Drones just off the mark. Creek can't reel it in.
It's the end of the third quarter.
Third quarter officially in the rearview mirror. West on top 15-11. See how this drive continues coming up next. Start of the fourth quarter at the 101st edition of the East-West Shrine Bowl. The West on top 15-11. Special teams in a lot of ways have been a difference maker, giving the advantage to this West squad. We've also seen some big hits, guys. Kyron Drones trying to make something happen offensively for the East. Buckeye, I just asked you in the break, hey, who's got the advantage here, offenses or defenses? Because it feels like the defenses have run supreme here, but you think the offenses have good opportunity to get some points.
Well, the quarterback should know what they're getting because they're playing vanilla looks, no blitzing, limited amount of coverages. So you should be able to play fast and aggressive against what you know you're going to get.
Drones out of shotgun here. He's got some time. And that pass falling just short.
Yeah, he worked his first option, didn't like it, tried to get back to his second option, which was actually to the same side. Just ran out of space. Talk about trying to get the ball out to the boundary. Very difficult when you're not familiar with these receivers, the timing, where their breaks are, their indicators. There's so many things that go into being able to get a completion, especially versus coverage.
We're short one. We're short one on punt. Short one on.
So Stonehouse in. He's got 3 punts so far, 45, 57, and 48.
It's a nice one.
This is a beaut. And Eric Rivers calling for the fair catch. As we go to the sidelines, here's Jane.
All right, I'm down here on the sidelines with Febechi Wiwu out of Oklahoma. You are an offensive guard. How does it feel to be nominated for this year's Pat Tillman Award?
I mean, it means everything to me. You know, Pat Tillman was a great man. You know, he's a defensive player of the year. You know, he sacrificed himself, you know, to go fight, you know, after the tragedy of 9/11. And, you know, just to be recognized as, you know, a player that's, you know, willing to sacrifice for his team and willing to sacrifice for his brothers, man, it's a great honor.
Your first opportunity to play with NFL coaches. What's the takeaway from this week?
Man, they've taught me a lot. You know, they taught me the speed of the game. You know, they taught me the concepts. You know, I love football, so this has been a great experience for me.
Absolute pleasure talking to you. Enjoy the rest of the game. Guys?
Jen, very cool honor there for Wiwu. And we got a flag here. Checking in for the West.
Number 72.
UConn, Joe Fagnano.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that's almost been consistent, all throughout the game. Every time they've changed quarterbacks, you've seen some form of a false start because, again, that cadence is different. The offensive line aren't rotating in like the quarterbacks are, and it's just a little bit of a change.
You just get comfortable.
Yep.
You get comfortable to the cadence and the rhythm, and someone else comes in working out. Different system, different cadence.
Fagnano here out of the gun. We heard from Sean Mannion, the offensive coordinator, a quick little dump off to TJ Harden. Not much doing there. And this is a closer look at Fagnano, what he was able to do at UConn with Jim Moore as his head coach.
Yeah, run the pro style system with Jim Moore. Look, the Huskies were back.
Yeah.
Under Moore did a really good job of giving the deal. You talk about big play, the explosiveness that they had when he was at quarterback. This is a great opportunity for him to showcase his skills.
And he's a great decision maker, too. You talk about his statistics 28 touchdowns, 1 interception. Somebody who knows how to manage the game and take care of the ball.
Finiano to Weegan.
Oh, great ball.
Yeah.
Listen. Yeah. His lineman just picked him up off the ground. Not sure if we have this on replay. He stood in the face of danger. He didn't try to move off the mark. He stood in there. You see the top left of your screen. Knew he was about to take a big boy hit. Put the ball out there on the boundary corner. Nice job by Finiano.
Yeah, I was making reference to it when Sean Manning, the offensive coordinator, said he was comfortable in these 2-minute situations, which is why he probably would close out this game or the half. Miller Moss was the other quarterback. We saw him in the second quarter. Now, Finiano, an opportunity to close out this game for the West. Talked about the poise. What he didn't bring up to us was his ability to take one up in the chin.
Nice. Ooh. Nice catch.
Did he get 2 down is the question.
Completed pass short of the line to gain. It's 4th down.
I got to tell you, C.J. Williams, no padded practices, not to hammer this point home, but so impressive in this game with limited experience with these quarterbacks.
One heck of an effort. I'm not sure if he got both toes down. That right big toe didn't get down. Yeah, would have been good in college, but
all-star game, Isaiah. All-star game.
They counted it though. They counted it, so it counts. Goes on the stat sheet.
4th and 1, opportunity here for the West.
Trying to draw the defense offside. Not sure if they're going to snap it here.
Valiant effort.
Good discipline by the defense. Good job by the offensive line, not paying attention.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Finiano's even smiling, going, I thought I would have had you there. You got to imagine some of these defensive players just kind of looking their chops for an opportunity to come up with a big play, but the discipline there.
The first person to meet the defense over there is right there on your screen, Aaron Wycott, former defensive line coach now for the Dallas Cowboys. Now is going to be the
Tennessee
defensive line coach / run game coordinator for Tennessee Titans.
Robert Saleh scoring a nice piece to his coaching staff. Wycott was so impressive during the coaches' meetings.
Got some room.
Does have some room here. And it's worth them. Again, in special teams. Nice little return. Over the years, 101st edition. Talk about an all-star game that's over 100 years old. What great tradition and history of the East-West Shrine Bowl. Back here in this 4th quarter, this East-West Shrine Bowl. West on top, 15-11. East football. Kyron Drones, strong arm, athletic quarterback, made a whole lot of plays in his time at Virginia Tech. Good leadership. Coaching staff said, hey, lead by example, sort of the mantra that he's got there.
There goes that man.
It's Bullock.
There goes that man.
Man.
Banks.
Yeah, Banks, for a former wide receiver to get his nose dirty like that as a linebacker speaks to his toughness, but also the natural instincts that he has for the position.
Listen. Keep your eyes on 37. He finds a way to get in there and get contact whenever possible. He's not afraid to put his nose in there. Buck, you just alluded to it. Played on the offensive side of the ball. You don't see that transition to linebacker go out there and headhunting people like he's been doing today.
So it's Drones looking over to the middle of the field. He's got his tight end, Lake McCree. That is a big hit. Banks is not messing around here in the second half.
Not messing around, but here's where it will help him in the future. Special teams. His ability to be a wide receiver, to now play linebacker. Can you imagine what he can be like on the coverage units? Yeah, take him right around the thigh boards.
Yeah.
Cut him low.
And that's taking out Lake McCree, who's 6'4", 250 pounds. There was zero hesitation in Banks. I'm calling him Big Hit Banks from now on.
Big Hit Banks.
He'll take that nickname. To your point, I mean, and McCree is all of that size of 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm almost surprised standing next to him, although most of these guys are pretty big next to me. But the point is, McCree is certainly a big boy. It's Drones. Pass pass deflected there. Damani Jackson, who, Buck, you've known for a long time.
Long time. You talk about a guy that was a highly decorated recruit, first to USC, then to Alabama. In high school, 10.25, 100-meter champion, state champ. That kind of speed with his size, 6 foot, 195. The skill. Look, he's going to have a chance to really be an impressive player at the next level.
Showing off that 10-2 speed coming out the break. One thing about cornerbacks, okay, you're always responding, reacting to a receiver that's already broken. So that 10-2-5 speed came in handy on that PBU right there.
Stonehouse with the punt. It'll take a bounce.
Oh, that's really bounce.
That's pretty.
That's a pretty punt from Stonehouse. Big Hit Banks, the new nickname for Shad, who is delivering some blows here with the West on top 15-11. 2026 NFL Combine presented by Microsoft Copilot. It's going to be here before you know it. Starting February 26th, 3 Eastern. Defensive linebackers continuing throughout the week. The 27th, we got the DBs and the tight ends. On the 28th, the running backs, the quarterbacks, and wide receivers. And then on March 1st, D-line, the big fellas, exclusively on NFL Network and NFL Plus, all beginning February 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So Fignano getting pushed back basically at the 1. We'll see if he gets a little room to work with.
Good push.
It is. Dom Richardson, his first carry of the game. It's Jalen Duggar with the hit.
Shout out to the offensive line. Again, we talk about the lack of continuity with these guys, but you can tell these guys all are on one accord in terms of the physicality. We heard Coach Linda Wells, obviously in the pregame speech, talk about when all else fails, be physical. You saw that exactly right there. Ball was stopped at the line of scrimmage. These guys pushed forward for another 3 yards.
So it is a pickup of 3, and they get a little bit of breathing room. We get Richardson again, for putting his head down and getting a push, and it's Duggar again in on the tackle. Here's Jane on the sidelines.
A full circle moment for East special teams coach Isabel Diaz, guys. She grew up just down the road and attended Hebron High School. At 8 years old, she started watching Fox NFL Sundays with her granddad, who she says always had donuts waiting. She told her mom she wanted to play football. Of course, there weren't a lot of opportunities back then, and her mom thought it was just a phase. But before her freshman year, Diaz told me she emailed the Hebron coaches. They let her join the staff, and then the running backs coach taught her film and scheme as she studied whatever she wasn't cheerleading. She even helped coach a local middle school team in her free time. From there, it was on to Oklahoma State, and then she told me on Mother's Day, she and her mom drove to Indy, where Diaz worked her way up from the film department to special teams. Real quick, we've got a safety, guys.
Jane.
Defense in the end zone for a touchdown.
Wes Williams in on the hit. Again, his name is getting called. Aaron Hall with the recovery. Guys, talk about this pressure from the East. Jane, we'll get back to you in just a moment here. Look at that hit.
Yes, sir. Wesley Williams right off the backside. We talked about how him and Reiger had one heck of a week. Those two-headed monsters at the defensive end position is always nasty when you have one on each side, but he just took full advantage of that left tackle coming off, and then, man, Johnny on the spot, Aaron Hall. No, not the R&B singer, but Aaron Hall came up there and fell on the ball for a touchdown.
Yeah, what a great pass rush coming off both edges, but Wesley Williams being able to get around the corner doesn't get credit.
So going for 2 here. See if Drones in the offense can capitalize on a defensive score. And that pass batted away. Andre Fuller getting a hand on it. Actually, check that. Actually, here, take me through what you're seeing here.
Yeah, you guys are going to see they ran a nice little TE stunt right there, which means that the defensive end went in, the tackle came outside, and it confused the offensive line and their responsibilities. It ends up creating levels. You like to see that offensive line work as one unit, one solid line, but when there's a rift in the line, there's obviously a lane to be able to run through, and that's exactly what took place there for the defensive line.
Wesley Williams kind of creeping into the conversation.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting when we have to make these votes for MVP.
I actually think there's 3 defensive players that we could be considering right now. By the way, on the tip pass, it was Kuwach.
Who the coaches love.
Extending, yeah. Look, Reiger certainly comes to mind. Williams comes to mind. I'll give Banks some credit for some of these hits.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. Love to see these guys playing, though. Playing, having fun, staying healthy.
So losing the handle on the football here. Chris Hudson not able to reeling that thing in. It's Brent Austin in on the tackle.
Yeah, so coming off of a play like that, right? Fagnano, obviously, is not the best play that it's not what you wanted to happen, right? But now, okay, as a scout and as a coach, how does your quarterback respond? I'm looking at body language. I'm looking at how he commands the huddle. Everybody's down. Everybody's frustrated. Can you get outside of yourself and command 10 other men to go out there and execute on one accord and go out there and try to have some positive plays?
Yeah, bounce back is everything. I said, when you look at the quarterback, because bad things are going to happen. When he gets to the next level.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
When he gets to the next level, there could be bad things. The first thing you want to see is how does he react to adversity? Can he bounce back? Or is he one of those guys that has to go, it has to be all good? Yeah. Any bad happens, he doesn't have the ability to bounce back.
And I can tell you as a former quarterback, it's tough, right? You're frustrated. You know, you want to go out there and do the best you can, and you just have a strip sack for a touchdown. You have to get outside of yourself. It's less about you and it's more about the team. Go be the leader that they need you to be on this drive.
So Fa'amue's movement cost him 5. It is Richardson with some space. He'll get some of that and then some back.
Okay.
Dom Richardson for 9. Miles Rouser, who's got some ink on the neck, in on the tackle.
Yeah, it's really good open field tackle right here coming up, and that's what the safety is all about, right, Buck?
Yeah, he was able to get him down now. At the next level, going to wrap him up. Yeah. He got away with it, but does a great job of getting him down.
Heard about his aggressiveness this week at practice. I think one of the coaches told me he kind of wanted to throw down on day 1. Yano under center here. 2nd and 5 for the West. Find themselves trailing after a defensive touchdown by the East. Yeah, Richardson again hitting that R2 button. And once again, picking up another first down.
One heck of a run, but before the run can take place, the quarterback has to ensure that you're in the right play call. These coaches in production meetings told us about how they give these quarterbacks the opportunity to be able to go up and make the right call. That means you heard him at the line of scrimmage saying, can. 2 plays were called in the huddle. He goes up there, sees that the original play was not going to be to their benefit. He goes up there, makes a can call, gives them a successful play.
Yeah, that's next level quarterbacking, and that's what they want to see. Some of these guys haven't done that in college. We want to see if they can do it in this All-Star game.
It's Dom Richardson. Some tough runs here in this 4th quarter. Fagnano.
That's cute. Uh-oh.
There goes that man.
There's 3.
There goes that man.
That's the hat trick.
Reiger again, a career high now, 3 sacks. Good time to come up with it.
Listen, all you need to do is keep your eyes on this man right here. He is relentless. Comes downhill, takes away the run. If they were to hand it off, says, no, you can't fool me. I'm coming to get number 3.
That's nice.
Buckle.
Love the effort.
White Cotton told us Reiger's got that Wisconsin vibe to him. Yeah. Relentless, tough, smart, the whole thing. Whole package certainly there for him.
Get off. Again. Nice throw. Uh-oh.
Good ball. And yeah, most people at home would see that pass and just kind of treat that as just an average play, right? That's not the case. Getting the ball, pressuring your face, throwing the ball on time, getting it in the hands of Eric Rivers to go out there and have yards after catch.
And Rivers, by the way, 4 catches, 58 yards. He had that big completion from Haynes King in the 3rd quarter when his regular season quarterback last year was in. So another 3rd down, 3rd and 2 for the West. It's TJ Harden picking up the first down.
Going back to that previous pass, and Buck, you can speak to this from the defensive side. Timing is absolutely everything as a quarterback. A lot of times we see quarterbacks that have really strong arms. They kind of take timing for granted, right? They'll wait till the receivers get open before they rifle it in there. And you see quarterbacks that don't have as much velocity usually do a better job of getting the ball out on time. But when you can possess both, they have the velocity and understand the timing, getting it out before your receiver gets out of his break. The sooner your receiver gets the ball in his hand, the more dangerous he is. And I know DBs hate that.
Yeah, hey, it was right on time and on target.
Fagnano pitches. It's Harden again. Start moving some bodies here. Harden's had some tough runs so far in this game.
Yeah, he's getting some tough looks. He's been putting some bad situations with guys in the backfield. You see it right there, meeting them 2 yards in the backfield, trying to hold on to his jersey. But that's why you do sled work in the offseason, so that when guys grab your jersey, you can run right through.
Yeah, you talk about that contact balance and being able to pull through arm tackles. As a scout, that's one of the things that you look for at running backs. Can they pull through the initial tackles?
24 yards so far for the back out of SMU. On a 2nd and 6, play action here for Fagnano's got a little bit of grass in front of him. Takes a big hit. Just short of that first down marker.
Right there. You know, this is setting up for, they only need a field goal to win. Setting up for a guy to be able to knock this 3 in. Yeah. Maybe swipe the MVP trophy at the end.
Well, Trace Mack hit that 57-yarder before halftime. That got all of us a little excited.
Yeah, he might be able to come through with a game winner.
Hey, don't forget, I know we're talking a lot about these players, but these head coaches are playing for keeps.
Yes, like winning.
Ricky Bobby. That's a killer.
Start number 79, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Faumue, the 2nd time right now on this drive, getting called for movement.
You hate to see it. You're talking about going from a 3rd and short situation where you feel confident about being able to move the chains on the next play. So all of a sudden now you're backed up to 3rd and 7. It changes everything about your play call, you know, especially when you're on the short script within these All-Star games.
Bucks also retracted maybe some of the thoughts of a game-winning field goal, potentially.
I mean, maybe like he's still 57. We saw a 57-yarder earlier.
Yeah. Flirting with that range, a career high for him. Fagnano firing. It's Eric Rivers reeling it in.
So many good things on that play.
On time, on target.
Watch the pocket. These guys do such a good job picking up the stunts. Offensive linemen doing a good job scanning across, right? You got guys coming from the backside. They're being able to communicate, scan their eyes, get over and assist with their protection, and then the ball, right, Buck?
Good ball, right in the strike zone. Hit him right on the nose, face mask. Perfect throw. Great catch by Rivers. A nice throw.
Fagnano right now 5 of 5 on this drive. Under 3 minutes to go here. His team down. Dalton Johnson in on the tackle. It's Dom Richardson again, tough yardage.
Big time hit by Dalton Johnson getting in there as well. He had some good yardage on that one, obviously getting about 3 yards, but you get your opportunity to pull the trigger as a defender, you got to go out there and make sure they hear you. They don't just see you, they got to hear you.
Buck, take me through Sean Mannion's eyes right now, because when we talk to the offensive coordinator, a lot of this stuff is new. Remember, elevated coaches who haven't done this before.
Well, this is not only Sean Mannion, but Noodle Wells in terms of being able to manage the clock. How do you want to finish this out?
Hitting a 2-minute warning right now, the East, because of a defensive touchdown on top, 17-15. Can the West respond? Time for tonight's way to play moment of the game. We got hyped up in the first half. Gronowski, Buck, he's your guy, sacrificing his body, not afraid to throw a block.
No, not afraid to do it. It's about making it happen. Football players at the quarterback position, not prima donnas. He shows that, but add a little physicality and toughness at the end of that run.
Selfless plays. Gotta love it.
You can see his numbers here in the running for game MVP. 86 yards in the air, 28 on the ground. Heard from the coaching staff, the leadership being able to steady that huddle all week long. They were impressed. It's the reason why he was QB1 to start off. Meanwhile, we got the East on top, 17-15. West football. defensive touchdown for the East on the previous possession. Fagnano's having himself quite the drive so far.
Slings. Oh, he just almost kicked it. Oh, good play.
Dom Richardson. Buck, I've heard you talk about contact balance a whole lot.
Yeah, look, he's running right behind his pass, doing a great job of not going down on initial contact. Man, you just love the balanced body control. Watch him pull through multiple times.
52 seconds, the East team called their first charge. Timeout.
Now, I know you talk about contact balance, but
Isaiah, more from you on that in just a moment. East wanted to talk things over. The third annual NFL Flag Championships presented by Toyota will move to Westfield, Indiana, July 23rd to the 26th. Championship game scheduled for Sunday. It's the largest youth flag football tournament in the world, and this year's event marks the biggest iteration yet. More than 350 girls and boys teams from across the globe participating. Really cool to see how flag football has jumped off for all fans across the country. An Olympic sport around the corner. East right now, guys, up 17-15. And Isaiah, take me through that last play.
Listen, there's a reason why we give you guys impact players. Keep your eyes on this man right here, Garrett DiGiorgio out of UCLA. The big fella, 6'7", 320 pounds. You stand no chance. I don't care if you're a linebacker, a safety, a corner, whoever you want to be, but bring your crew with you. This man is going to move you out the way, and he made it possible for them to have a successful run on that particular play.
Look, man, he was a nightclub bouncer. He said no white T-shirts, no Tim. Keep him out. Cannot come in the club. This is not New York. Got to get up out of here.
Flash it back to my days back post-college. There were no white T-shirts or Tims, I can assure you of that. Here's Richardson.
This one.
Boy, he has had so many tough runs. Fuller in on the tackle, but he's just dragging dudes.
Rolling on the field as a runner short of the line to gain and second down.
Yeah, but just look at how everything is forward, right? First man touches him, he gets carried for 5 yards. You talk about the physicality downhill, one cut, boom, that explosiveness. You think that you have an angle on him as a defender, and then he puts that foot in the ground and accelerates up to top speed.
4 seconds. The East called their second and final charge timeout of the half.
You go from having a great tackling angle to all of a sudden you're trying to tackle this guy from behind. But
yeah, I wonder, are we trying to let him score now? Are we trying to let him score now?
Strategy.
Dom Richardson out of Tulsa. Angry runs.
Okay.
Cue our guy Kyle.
You gotta hit up Kyle, man. See what he thinks.
He's not messing around in this game. 7 carries, 47 yards on this stride.
Look, and it's been apparent in the fourth quarter. He is dominated with the ball in his hands. Physicality, toughness. We've seen the balance and body control. But more importantly, the violence to finish the runs in the right way.
So you can see Sean Mannion, whose name we've dropped a couple times, the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach over in Green Bay, former Oregon State Beaver quarterback. Got to cover him when he was still a student. Complete gentleman. Loved covering him when he was in college.
Hey, man, that's when the Beavs were pretty good when he was a quarterback.
Yeah, they were rolling.
And this is a great opportunity for these coaches as well. I know we're talking a lot about the players, but these coaches are in positions that they necessarily haven't been in their careers, and this is an opportunity for them to gain that experience. And hopefully position them for greater opportunities.
2nd and 1 here. Richardson, kind of a layup the way he's been running on this.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to let him score. Right?
They were trying to let him score, but they're like, no.
A little strategy coming in.
Strategy.
East has no timeouts remaining.
No timeouts. We're going to let it run down, kick it with the...
Now you're in a position where, I know for people at home, they might see them hand the ball off, and the Red Sea might open up. But what you're going to be instructed to do at the running back position in that situation is to fall down before you cross the goal line. Reason being is you want to leave no time on the clock, kick the field goal, and win the ball game.
So it's a 1st and goal. Richardson again in that backfield. Let that play clock go all the way down. And you can see exactly right on cue, boys.
No. We're not going for the banana in the tailpipe. No.
I'm just going to throw this out here. You can see Coach Wells Mannion saying, hey, like, let's just tick down.
Nah.
That's exactly what happened. Watch the defense. We're playing hard. Nah, no, you're not. You're trying to let us score. The reason why they wanted them to score a touchdown on that because they want to get the ball back. They can't stop the clock right now. So now you're going to see the West go out there, center the ball up wherever the kicker wants it, get down, and then they're going to kick a field goal to win it.
Oh, the Angels take the touchdown.
Richardson saying
take the touchdown.
Give me some shine.
That was a Linda Wells call right there.
They're going to take the touchdown.
Linda Wells, I know him all too well. He called down. He said, they're going to give it to us.
We're going to take it.
We're going to take it.
we ain't going to put it on the kicker's foot.
6.
He thought about it.
So Richardson, 9 carries for him, 54 yards. He's got this touchdown, first work of the game, all coming in this 4th frame.
I know what you're trying to say right now, yeah.
I just planting a seed.
I know what you're doing. That's a mustard seed right there.
We kick the thing at the end zone, can't we?
You can. You got to go for 2, though. Here we go.
Remember, no PATs here in this East-West Shrine Bowl.
This can get ran back, right?
It can.
I think of these stands.
All right. So we talked about the strategy of potentially taking a knee, but when your head coach is named Linda Wells, he's like, nah, go ahead and sneak in there, get you one, big fella.
Thing in. All-Star game. We're talking about somebody might end up being a Hall of Famer.
That's it.
Because he punched that thing in.
That's it. But now we're in a situation, yeah, where the ball has to get kicked off. The question is for the East, who do you put back there to return this ball because this might be your last play?
Last play. Do we have a trick play? Do we have a hook and lateral? Do we have a...
Did you get a chance to put that in this week?
No, I mean... We have the Music City Miracle. We have anything lined up where we can... See, some of these rules may be obscure. We may not have covered it, so...
Okay, but you got to remember who's the head coach of the East. The man on your screen right there. What has he been doing over the last few years?
Special teams. Maybe take a fair catch so the clock doesn't run out. Maybe try and figure out something. Toss the battle.
So Marquise Williams, who got a win last year as the head coach, need a little bit of help here. You asked who was going to be back. Kentrell Bullock, Michael Wortham.
I love situational football. Oh, kicking out the end zone.
Oh, yeah, we put this thing.
Oh, bring it out.
Wortham.
Oh, yeah, good job.
Ooh, okay.
Good job. Put it in the zone. Make them have to throw a Hail Mary.
So, NFL rules, right?
Yeah.
So the ball's coming out to the, should be coming out to the 35.
You know, Isaiah, I think this is one of those inadvertent blitzes may come, you know?
I don't think so.
I think this might be an inadvertent blitz.
I think you're going to see 10 guys
we thought
back.
it was a draw. We thought it was a draw. We just made our way to the quarterback. We're not going to sit back and let them throw a Hail Mary. This might be, we're going to add one to the rush.
Let me see. I see 4 down linemen walking out there, and you're seeing everybody back all the way up.
Yeah, guys not like me. I tell them we spying the running back. We had man coverage on the running back to the quarterback.
And the man with the cannon of an arm steps into the huddle.
Kyron Drones.
This is going to be some cinema right here. What better way to end the game, huh? One play.
Been talking about his arm strength, but 6 seconds to go here.
Take the quick out.
Oh, they're going to try to take some easy yardage.
Yeah, so now we can throw it into the zone.
So it's Dylan Bell with the reception. Down to 2 seconds here.
All right, so
definitely the last play.
You got 58 yards to go to the zone. All right, knock the ball down. Is what you're telling your DBs, knock the ball down.
This is going to have to be...
We got a little wide. We should have wide 9 rushers on the outside.
Yeah, offensive line's going to have to do a heck of a job. This is going to have to be about a 65-yard pass
to the
in
zone.
the air. Give his team a chance.
Right. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Drones getting pushed. He'll heave.
That's short. Now, I'll pick this one off. I'll pick that one off because it's short.
And Jackson Kuwach at the game-sealing interception. Ice bath for Coach Wells.
That's awesome.
How about that? I would have picked that one off. Just the way that one is. That's a good job.
One heck of a game.
How about that? Great game. One of the better games that we've gotten in terms of the entire time. Non-stop action, points, moving up and down the field. It was really well-played game by both sides.
And across the board, different units had the ability to shine. We saw some long kicks. We saw the defense ball out and some offensive plays as well.
Yeah, and I think you got a great showcase, and that's what this is all about. Highlighting these players, try to elevate them, put them in a position to have success so that they can put some great film out there for all 32 NFL teams to be able to check out and evaluate prior to the combine, prior to the draft. I think these guys all had a great showing, and this is what this East-West Shrine Bowl is all about.
It is what it's all about, and more importantly, it didn't appear that we had any significant injuries, which is what you want to see when you have these All-Star games. Everyone showed up, showed out, was able to get back healthy.
We have some decisions to make.
Yes, we
will find out who the game MVP is going to be. We got it on the offensive side and the defensive side, and we have the trophy presentation. And it is coming up next with the West victorious over the East, 21-17. Coach Wells, it's been cold all week. Offensively, we saw some really bright moments from some of the quarterbacks and even the kickers getting into the mix. But that last and final drive, guys, was nothing short of impressive.
Yeah, you talk about Joe Fagnano doing a good job of obviously getting the team in position, but then you give the ball to Dom Richardson. He's the one who really took over this entire drive. The offensive line did one heck of a job of giving him holes, but the physicality, Buck, of his rushing.
I mean, physicality, and as we were saying, training camp, sad leg. He had the fresh legs in the fourth quarter. The way that he was able to, look, physically dominate in the fourth quarter is a testament to his readiness, but more importantly, the impact of physicality and violence when it comes to finishing runs.
Yeah, Richardson, plenty of tough runs for him in this game. You see Coach Wells, impressive this week when we got to observe what he was doing with his West squad. And then even in those coaches meetings, a real good command, not only in the coaching staff. And Isaiah, you know him pretty well from his time here in Dallas. You do some work with the Cowboys as well. You told us to expect some big things from him and his unit.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Wells, I mean, actually, he was on the coaching staff when I won the Super Bowl with the New York Giants. And then he's been here, obviously, for a number of years in the tight end room, coaching that position. He's one heck of a coach. He's worked his way up, and there's more opportunities available to him coming forward.
Here's Jane Slater with the winning team, and we got some special players.
Thanks, Mike. Well, fans, players, coaches, staff, we survived the ice storm, and the West team survived a close one, winning this one 21-17. So let's hand out some trophies, shall we? To help me with this, I've got the chairman of Shriner Children's Board of Directors, Brad Kane, and I've got my chairman of the East-West Shrine Bowl, Matt Sterlickson. All right, let's go ahead and start with our defensive MVP, Mason Reiger, right over here. They switched it up on me right before this one, guys. How does this one feel for you? You had 3 sacks in this game. I think everyone at home wants to know, what did you eat for dinner?
Oh, no, I kept it light. Had some chicken and rice for dinner, chicken and rice.
How many multiple sack games can you guarantee for the team that goes ahead and decides to draft you?
You know, God willing, that's the plan every week, so as many as I can get.
What did you learn from this experience?
Just the knowledge that all these coaches, I appreciate their time and everything they were willing to put in for us this week, and just the little bits of game plan that I could take and learn from this week was great.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's get to our offensive MVP. Twitter was ablaze with Mark Gronowski right off the bat. You were 7 of 10 for 86 yards, 28 rushing. But the highlight film that's going to stand out was the block on the 2 defenders that help your running back find the end zone. Walk me through what you were thinking there. Aren't you worried about your body ahead of the draft?
Yeah, no, I just ran out the fake, and a guy ended up coming right behind me, and you know, I just do whatever it takes to help win the game.
So you've got all elements to your game. What did you improve on, you think, this week, just in your first showcase with NFL coaches?
Yeah, I got to say thanks to all the coaches that helped us out this week. They spent a lot of time helping us and watching film, and they really helped me see, I guess, defenses better, just game plan a little bit better, and I guess have a better pre-snap plan when I'm coming up to the line of scrimmage.
Speaking of your coach, head coach Lunda Wells, come on up here and join me. This is your winning coach of the game. How's it feel in your debut to win this one? It was a close one, Coach. Talk to me about the end there, though.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, both teams battled all the way through. Our guys just hung with the plan, leaned on all the things that we had worked throughout the week in terms of the situation awareness, and can't thank those guys enough. Can't thank the 32 teams that's you know, represented here with the other coaches, coaching these guys up, spending all that time with those guys. And the Shriner event is an unbelievable opportunity for us to highlight a tremendous, tremendous organization and do it right here in the Dallas Cowboys Star practice facility. Hey, what better place to do it at?
This is a showcase for the players, but also for you coaches. And you've got an interview to sort of move up the ranks here coming up. What do you think you put on tape for teams about as your ambitions in this league?
Again, I just, I really didn't look at it in terms of putting something on tape for them. It was more so about these guys, giving those guys a thorough evaluation so that they can come out here and perform on a high level, so that they give the NFL the best opportunity to evaluate them on the field and off the field. And I'll think about that later on down the road, later on this evening and later on in the morning. But it's all about these guys and the teams that's represented here in the Shriner. And I just can't be I'm so proud of everybody involved in this event, and just a humble opportunity for me.
I appreciate covering you at the Cowboys. It was fun watching you in your debut in this one. Mike, we'll go ahead and throw this one back up to you guys in the booth. Take the trophy.
All right, Jane. Well, an opportunity for the West squad to celebrate Coach Wells. An impressive job this week. Gronkowski is a guy, Buck, that you had highlighted at the start of this game, and he didn't disappoint. He delivered for you. The coaching staff told us he would calm this team, and that's why he was a starting quarterback.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint at all because he came out of the box really getting this offense humming the way that he commanded the game, and then just getting the ball to the playmakers and allowing his playmakers to make those big plays on the perimeter. But he capped it off with the block. We talk about the selflessness. You can see why the coaches were excited about what he was going to put on tape.
Yeah, and then from a defensive perspective, and there was a plethora of options here for game MVP, but what Reiger was able to accomplish, guys, I mean, just impressive. The 3 sacks, impressive. And you can see Connie Carberg, who is the first female scout in league history. What a great game. And we would agree, nonstop motor, and this is what we told we were going to get from him this week, Isaiah.
Yeah, absolutely. When we had an opportunity to sit down with Coach Aaron Whitecotton, that was the first person he brought up. We said, who are you excited about seeing play? And Reiger was the first person that jumped out of his mouth. And you talk about a D-line coach like that that's excited to see a young man play. This is exactly why. When I see Reiger play, I think about the effort of a Max Crosby. He has the frame, he has the potential, and he just put out one heck of a showing for the rest of the teams.
4th Wisconsin player to win the defensive MVP award in this East-West Shrine game since 2010. Buck, you scouted for a long period of time here. Give me the biggest takeaway that you got from this game and watching these players.
I mean, just a lot of guys that are really hungry, a lot of selfless guys, and at a time where you don't know if guys are going to show up and participate in the full event, we saw a bunch of guys that really put some great things on tape, not only in practice, but in games, and that's certainly going to help them when we have the discussion about their draft stock in a few weeks.
And kudos to all these guys in terms of their ability to come in here. You're playing next to guys you've never played with before. Yeah. You're taking on, 100 plays, in terms of being install. Your mind is spinning. You're stressed out about going out and putting out a good performance. All those things are accumulating, and yet these guys were able to go out here and put out a good performance on this stage, in this setting. Kudos to all those guys, and good luck to them going forward.
Last year, 51 players drafted. 2 years ago, 57 players drafted in this East-West Shrine Bowl. You got to imagine all of these players able to help their stock for what they were able to accomplish this week. But what a great night in Frisco. Final score, West victorious 21-17 for Bucky Brooks. Isaiah Stanback, Gene Slater, and our entire crew. I'm Mike Yam. So long from Frisco, Texas. Thank you so much for watching.